Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Science rules.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Inertia is a property of matter.
Bill
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
T minus 7 seconds.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Inertia.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Welcome back to another Brew Spy, the Magic Guy. I'm your host, Sean, and we're going to be playing Slot Machine. Let's go. I think this deck's interesting. I don't think it's good because you're trying to do what a deck that was previously banned does. I don't expect to play this well. I've played combos like this before. So we 4-1'd last stream with Spirits. That was a nice little blessing in disguise. And now we'll blow all the points that we just won back playing this nonsense. But the deck's really interesting. I have to thank both Smdster. So Smdster, able to win with an ambitious take on the deck. He recently, I think it was the 19th, he 5-0'd? It was either a 5-0 or a 4-1. But whatever he did, he made it so the deck got posted. And it's basically just the Semblance Anvil eggs. I've added the Planeswalkers. I think it's going to make the deck a little bit more grindy. Ugin, of course, also gives us the spells you cast that share a card type with the exiled card cost 2 less. I'm not trying to say that my version is going to be any better, but I am trying the Karn board, which his deck wasn't. But we got a lot of different angles. So maybe I made the deck worse just to potentially give it some more angles, like the Karn angle. Ugin being another reducer. I have to thank Melfina for the Ugin technology because she was suggesting it. We're up against a 2-1. Hope they're not a Stony Silence deck. So this hand is a quick keep. And I think I just... Stirrings? I also could just play the Terrarian. So I'm going to play the Terrarian. Bauble from the opponent. Could be Shadow. Shadow might be a problem for us, right, if they're trying to interact. Nobles and Bauble. So he's playing Infect, so I'm terrified. Infect wants to go fast. We already have Semblance Anvil. Things we're looking for. We already have our land drops too. We're looking for other cheap guys like this. We're looking for a way to dig. We probably should even consider taking the Retriever here. I could Nexus here, but if I play the other Grove, I get to do the other Stirrings. Wellspring, Trawler. Probably take Trawler. And hope to hit a different artifact to exile to Anvil. I'll take the Trawler. So we didn't draw that artifact I was hoping for. I probably just play Trawler. Retriever's not an awful play either because we block Glistener. I mean, the most defensible play, honestly, is probably play Retriever, turns on the Opal, play Nexus, say go. Just because we had the potential to get there next turn. We don't have our sacrifice engine. That's the hard part about this deck, is the sacrifice engine has to come from another piece. So that's kind of the hard part. That is the difficult part. But it is a neat concept because you're also using Ravager as another sacrifice engine. So the deck just needed another 0 mana sacrifice. Grinding Station, of course, keeps untapping as we cast things, and is also a sacrifice engine, and you mill yourself and then you mill the opponent out. Or you can kill them with a big ballista. But the Ravager's interesting too. So just Nexus. Another Nexus. I mean, I can get Anvil going, it's just I don't do anything else. I think we're Terrarianing. There's Ravager. Interesting. Ravager gives us a sacrifice engine. Get the Terrarian back, but it's slow. That's the thing about Terrarian, it doesn't offer any loops. Do I actually... Well, I need the sacrifice engine. I was thinking, can I actually do anything here because we have Moxen? Like if I Semblance, we lose the sac engine or we lose the Trawler, and the Trawler allows for looping. But like, so does the Retriever. The Retriever also allows for looping. So hang on. I'm just worried we're dead next turn, which is why I'm trying to think about this turn. I think we have to let go of the Trawler. Gives me the Ravager. So we sack the Retriever. Retriever. So Retriever retrieves the Terrarian. Oh, you know what? Terrarian draws us a card. Even if it's tapped, we can still Ravager it. There's Ballista. Ballista's excellent here, potentially. X is going to be 1. Okay, done. We can move the counters to the Ballista. Ballista is indeed strong, so I could take out the Glistener. I think we just make a huge Ballista here, to be honest, chat, as much as we want a sacrifice engine. I think that's the safest thing to do. I'm not going to give up the Semblance Anvil. Oh, does he have something here? Vines? That's unfortunate. I mean, we don't have to do it this turn. Vines is actually a really neat card. Can you exile Citadel to the Anvil? No, Tommy Goif. It says non-land. Imprint says exile a non-land. I thought about that, Tommy. I was hoping. So unfortunately, I think we're dead here, and that's okay. I had double vines. You have another pump? Doesn't have another pump, but maybe it doesn't matter because I'm kind of, since we kind of got blown out there, I don't really have much I can do. He's got us even if he doesn't have a pump spell. Exalted. So let's sideboard. Really against... In fact, I just want grid. I don't think I want anything else. I mean, the Nature's Claims, maybe? I don't think so. I mean, he's hit Nexus, that's about it. Cut Ugin. I almost would rather have Karn than these Nature's Claims. So let's run it back. Yeah, no worries, Tommy Goith. I was wishing that was the case. Not the case. I mean, as a Karn deck, we'll do very light sideboarding. I mean, it's pretty much just we have to answer, you know, things like Stony. Cards that shut off Ravager and Grind Station. A lot of those things we can just Nature's Claim. If we want to get more grindy, we can bring in the Frenzy. I tried to spend what few sideboard slots we have. I thought about like a 1 of Ancient Grudge instead of 4 Nature's Claims, but I think Stony is a real issue. Yeah, so last game we kind of had a little more mana than we necessarily needed. This game looks to be the opposite, so we're going to go ahead and mulligan this. This hand looks pretty good. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good. So we've got Moxen. Let's bottom that Ravager since we kind of need more land than this. Bring in Needle. I don't think you bring in Needle. I think you leave it as a Karn board target, but maybe that's wrong. Since we have Karn in hand, I'll leave this up so you guys can think about the possibilities. I mean, putting Opal out there kind of plays a little bit around Spell Pierce. So we've got to sacrifice engines sooner this time. That should make a difference. Right? Should make a difference. I think we want to hold the other Moxen, although now I just took myself off of... I should have floated the mana first. Just in the context of Karn. Maybe we will be rewarded. Star. Ravager number 2. Star. Another star. Stirrings. Okay. So I was trying to, I mean, I'm happy to grow the Ravager, but I also was kind of hoping to just draw the Mana Source raw for Karn. Because like Karn naming Nexus would be sweet here. Yeah. So I think I should have just tried to stick the Karn actually, in retrospect. There you go. So We can sack the wellspring. We get a trawler. Oops, I don't know if I should have played that land actually. Stirrings. So there's the grinding station, but really we just want... We have enough mana for Karn now. Actually, just another land might be fine because it lets me play Karn and then also needle Nexus. I know it's weird I just took a Nexus because I'm about to needle it, but if we can turn him off of this, we're looking pretty good. Let's put him to 10. Having Trawler in play would have been sweet as well while we were doing the Ravager stuff. I mean, there is a Mox Opal there, so if we crack the Citadel, we can get that back. Ooh, we drew another land, though. That's a little scary. No blue source, so we know that this Karn is in the clear. I mean, granted, there might be like a Nature's Claim over there. That's a possibility. Still probably... It's still probably also right to play Nexus here. Because if he does stop the needle on the Karn... Let's do this before combat, just in case. Well, no, he would wait. He would wait till... Alright, let's go get that needle. I'm glad that I went with needle this time instead of... I think in the past I was trying what? Now, do we have a loop here if I go for something else? No. I mean, we could grab Anvil, right, and try to, like, wombo off next turn, but I think... Yeah, I honestly think just... the Ravagers are going to win this. Opponent sees the writing on the wall, assumes that I'd make the right name with the needle. Let's run it back. I know, Nature's Claim hits their next side, but they have other threats. 2 lands, bunch of Ravagers, a redraw. Think I keep this? I don't know. Glistener? Lead Nexus. There's our grinding station. So we have a lot of sacrifice engines, but not a lot of meat, which is not good. It's unfortunate that we're up against something as quick as Infect. It may really just not matter at all what we do. I do think I'm going to play Ravager instead of Grinding Station. Okay. I'm just thinking if I'm supposed to pop the star or not. I think it's fine if we just pay for star because float. I mean, it's essentially 0 mana to once it's on the table. Blighted. The stirrings try to hit land. We do. I think for the sake of Opal, we want it to be artifact mana. Well, hang on. So artifact, not quite enough to grab Opal. Grove. Okay, so let's play another Ravager. I think we might be dead here, gents. I mean, Blighted is a problem. One of the things I was worried about with the deck is happening where, like, maybe I should have gone with Grinding Station just so that I could be hitting ourselves and trying to dig to the pieces we need. The thing is, when you're doing that, you need a Buried Ruin to return what you actually turn over. Everything except the Planeswalkers. I think without Mox, we're just maybe too slow against something like Infect. this might just be one of those, unfavorable matchups in general. Like, just because we saw somebody spike a tournament with this wonderful jank doesn't mean it's good. I don't think I can justify sacrificing Citadel. I think we just try to let them trade. He'll probably pump here. Pump there. So we kind of need to do something big and flashy this turn. I mean, the Terrarian's a redraw. But I almost just think I'm supposed to... Well, he's got the Blighted Agent, so blocking with Nexus doesn't matter either. Ballista could have made a difference this game. The Ballista. That almost makes me think the deck could use multiple Ballistas. I know it's just in here instead of, like, Pyrite Spellbomb, which is how, like, traditional Karkland eggs. Let's not just throw the deck away just because we got up against something that's pretty quick. I assume I'm dead. I'm dead to any pump. Any pump at all. Yep. Good games. Is Infect picking up popularity? That's unfortunate for like a lot of the decks I want to play. Probably a lot of the things I want to be doing right now will die to Infect. Alright, anyway, we'll try again. So first game we managed to get, the Semblance Anvil active, but we didn't have a sacrifice engine until too late. Second game we won, we just had a couple of huge Ravagers. Third game, we just didn't really ever assemble anything. I think we do need the speed that Mox offers, so I probably should have mulliganed that hand, actually. Probably should have mulliganed because, just in retrospect, now that I've played the match, now I know, I think we have to kind of be more aggressive, and if not, mulligan hands that don't have the acceleration, or maybe keep a hand that has stirrings because it has hope of finding Mox. So that probably holds true for Burn as well. I mean, against Burn, we have to take out Eidolon, so the claims do that too for us. So it's an enchantment creature. I'd probably keep this. See, this hand has the hope for finding Mox, right? That Ancient Stirrings. This has Station Retriever. Mirror Match. No, it's not. We're the combo deck and they're the beatdown, but we're both Ancient Stirrings decks. I probably do want Ballista unless we can find another combo piece. I wish... So Wellspring represents 2 draws. I actually probably take the Wellspring since we have all the sacrifice engines necessary. We have Loop as well. So I'd probably take Wellspring. Yeah, the Mimic is sweet tech. Yeah, Mimic plus Scales is sweet. I'm trying to think the next piece I want. I think I just want to play the Wellspring, to be honest, chat. Ravager's interesting. Like, a lot of these other plays I have are very happy if this is in play. This drawing us to, like, potentially a Mox, I think is what I'm supposed to do. Worker is going to get a trigger. It's going to get animation module trigger. No, the Mimic is sick. I mean, this is, adding that extra 1/1 counter is relevant. We'll take 2 here. Okay, so we play Station. right? Yeah, we play station. Before the trigger goes off, we mill our cells, cracking the wellspring. We're gonna mill a little bit. We do have the buried ruin, that's why I haven't spent my draw step yet. I mean my land drop yet. Yes. We get to untap that. No mocks. I think we have to stop there, unfortunately, chat. We have plenty of sacrifice engines. We've got the retriever. We're making our land drops, but let's take a look at the graveyard. There's Scrap Trawler. That's probably what I get back. I mean, if we have enough time, we're up against kind of another aggressive deck, so I may not have time to assemble. Ooh, Throne of Geth. May just not have time, again, to assemble the things. Yeah, this is going to be sick. It's funny that his stuff is triggering my grinding station. One, two, 3, 4, 6. This is almost lethal right here. Oh, it might be lethal now. So go to 2. We draw Karn. Karn's not good enough here. We just never really found our mana engine. The cheapest... We have like one last opportunity to hit it, right? If I cycle the star. One last little chance to hit it. To just raw draw the Semblance Anvil. There's a shot. There's a shot. We don't hit it. I probably should scoop there just because we might accidentally reveal something like a Karn that they might not expect. So we do want some number of claim. No, Karn is great in the matchup. He's going to stay, but I'm just saying we probably want some number of claim. This just helps us not to fizzle. We don't necessarily need it. So that's 2 claims by cutting the sword and the Ugin. The reason it helps us not fizzle is it gives us an extra artifact every time we replay the retrievers. That's the only reason we're testing the sword. So we bought ourselves enough room for 2 claims. Is this just so good in the matchup that I want to trim? Like, is this are Nature's Claims better than Karn's activated abilities can't work? I don't think so. And we can only do very light sideboarding. I mean, like, the gear perk could be good, but it also might just fall behind the stuff that's going on in their deck. I think we want to stay pretty lean. I'm just going to make those small changes. Like, this is the kind of deck that... It's not even the fact that we've got a Karn board that it does very little sideboarding. It's just going to do very little sideboarding because it's a combo that needs to be pretty streamlined to actually function. So I don't think we keep this hand. It's just a 1-lander, can't cast the Stirrings. This hand looks worse unless we scry to a land. Even if we hit the second land, it's not that wonderful. Well, if we hit the second land, Station or Ravager can crack the Terrarian. We could draw to... and then we hope to draw to 3rd land for the Trawler. Like, I'm not even thinking about the Karn at this point. I'm just is the initial parts of this hand going to function? I think the answer is no. I actually added some more mana to the deck than the previous build. I added we're up to 19 land, just because the car like the Planeswalker package and like things like Frenzy are also a lot of mana. So I felt like the deck wanted. I'm actually gonna mulligan that hand. I'm kind of glad that I did because this has the second mana source for sure. We'll actually bottom that. Terrarion you kind of want to lead out because it's the one that's a little bit more awkward. Without a sacrifice engine, this guy needs to untap before you can pop it. But next turn we could pop the Terrarion, play a star, crack the star, play star star. Doesn't really matter how we do it. I probably want to be drawing through the deck though instead of just putting these all into play. I mean, granted that gives me a bigger turn after. Module again. So we could claim the Opal. Cutting them on mana is always a reasonable play. Granted, he might have another. And we could also just hit the module. How's it going, Jade? How you doing? How are you? There's Karn. I'll hit the mana source. Maybe it matters. I guess he has Nature's Claim too. You want to hit my star? Weird. Okay. I'll take it. Interesting choice for his Nature's Claim. You're motion sick? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Jade. You have internet now. That's a good thing, right? At least you have internet. That's kind of a weird play from our opponent. I don't know if they thought that one through. Are we just gonna play this Karn? Is that what's happening? Mike is terrible today. Okay, how do we sound now? Let me boost it. Can you hear me okay, guys? How does that sound? You dropped your yo-yo and counterweight, but you've only dropped it 3 times. Impressive. For those of you that don't know, we're actually a yo-yo stream. I'm kidding. Alright, do we draw the land to slam Karn? Okay, so Karn would evoke him to crack everything into the Ravager so it can answer. Like, we're not dead to the Ravager this turn, even if he sacked everything. I'm going to crack a star.
I mean, Karn going and getting the anvil is relevant, but we're missing a lot of other pieces, though, right? So even if Karn went and got me anvil, I need a sacrifice engine. Like maybe Karn should go get us grinding station. I do like that Karn could go grab Trawler as well, because we have 4 mana. I could play Trawler. Actually, I think Karn go get Trawler is actually pretty good. Just because we're working from a low base. Like I feel like when I don't have very much going on like this, I think I'm supposed to go get the Trawler. So opponent's probably going to make the Ravager big enough that yeah, okay, so whether or not at plus or minus, we lose the Karn, so I might as well minus go get Trawler, since we're kind of low hand-wise. I think it's Trawler. Sounds better, but distant. Yeah, it's because you guys are now hearing me from the microphone. I mean, from the you're coming from. Speaking of which, my webcam just froze. You're coming from my webcam audio now. So it's doing overtime. It is our video, which is back. It is our video and our audio for the night. So yes, we will go get Trawler. But yeah, if it sounds better, that's what matters at the moment. Like, we'll go with that. Barista. Walking Barista. Okay. Okay. Retriever. Yes, I'm just thinking chat. I mean, maybe this should have come in. It does have targets. So if we block here, it's easier for my opponent to shoot the Trawler. They may still just shoot the Trawler. Yeah, I'll take it sounding better, even if it sounds distant. You know, my whole setup just needs a makeover, is what it needs, really. Needs to just be remade. Not just new computer, like it would, you know, new mic, new everything. Which is weird because like my recording for the podcast hasn't sounded bad or roboty. I hope that doesn't carry over. It just seems like it does when I'm streaming, so that makes me think that my computer's maybe going on, like maybe it's like a CPU kind of thing. Because when I stream or when I record for the podcast on Audacity, I don't seem to get a mic quality issue. I'm actually just dead here, right? Because they can swing and hit me for... Well, actually, if they'd done this and I didn't block, they killed me. As Tyler bragged about his sub. Yeah, we were talking about it. It was funny. Hey, what's up, Tribble? He actually killed us if he'd just gone all in, right? Swing for 9, move it to the ballista, shoot us for 9. We're at 18. But anyway, we get back the retriever, right? So then we have retriever loop, or do we just get star back? I think you do get the retriever back. Actually, it's probably star. I think it's irrelevant though. I think with the 8/8 ballista staring us down, I think it's pretty irrelevant. Actually. So we have to pure combo off here using the Wellspring, Ravager. Ravager gives me a sacrifice engine, to which he'll shoot it, obviously. Yep, it has been shotted. It is dead. It is indeed dead. Oh, I meant to say no there, lol. I put it on the ballista. That's funny. Yeah, obviously I mean to say no there. You can put it on anything. You can put it on any artifact creature, not just your own. That's what's cool about Spellskite. Spellskite could, there's a lot of, well, it used to be a more common play in Modern is like Spellskite and Ravagers. Because if they cracked the Ravager and you had Spellskite in play, you could move the ability. It's Tribble though. Yeah, Tribble is the sub we're talking about. But you're here, Tribble. Tyler unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. Right now he's in another state. I mean, I can play Trawler, but it dies. I just don't think we're gonna rebuild. Oh, absolutely. He's a good dude. He's a judge, level 3 judge, level 1 judge. I can't remember which level he is, but he's up there in the levels. We can get the Ravager back, but we're dead. So it seems like things like Infect and maybe also I'll think of it in a second. Just some of these aggressive decks, Hardened Scales Affinity. These decks do seem to be problematic for us. I still think this deck is sweet, but I don't know if we're gonna get any wins with it. Just because somebody else, you know, 4/1s or 5/0s with some wonderful nonsense doesn't mean I'm going to. Right? We need to get different pairings if that's gonna happen. This is the kind of deck where it's like, well, if I get paired against this all day, we just roll them. If I get paired against pretty hyper aggressive decks, probably gonna lose. I think we definitely need a little bit of breathing room, you know. Need a little bit of breathing room. I feel like the deck is just so much slower though without a Mox Opal draw. I will say that after having played. I mean, maybe it just feels even more so just because what we played against were on the aggressive side. But I mean, I don't know if I have a whole league in me tonight, guys. It's already 9:39. I was going to get up early. I've got another project. I was actually in the office till 8 tonight. Not to gripe or complain to you guys, but I wasn't sure if I was going to stream after all. But I figured I'd do a short one. Let's do. I'm up for at least one more game, and then I'll probably hit the hay. But thank you guys for coming to the Thursday stream. This deck is cool. I don't know if it's going to do anything, but it is cool. I know I was there till 8. Awful, right? I was there 8 in the morning till 8 at night. 12-hour workday. But I mean, I was behind on my project, so like this project technically it's so like in my vein of work, if a project, so I'm actually behind on the deadline for the one that I'm turning in tomorrow. And the thing is I may get other work that has to be done before that. It's a little confusing. We'll keep this. It doesn't have green. Well, it does have green for stirrings technically, but this hand has like sacrifice engine. It has combo piece, so I think we do keep it. Since we have Buried Ruin, I think I want to use Grind Station instead of Ravager. Especially against opponents that have removal, you absolutely would rather do Grinding Station than Ravager as the sacrifice engine. Like, I could crack the Terrarian. Could be Burn. Probably is Burn. Against Burn, I probably still don't want to go the Ravager route. I probably want to stay Grinding Station. Even still, I think I'm supposed to Stirrings. I think I'm supposed to Stirrings, but maybe not. So there's the Semblance. So I take that. Unfortunately, I don't have another play, but so I think Ravager is just easier for them to interact with. That's probably what I want to give up to the Semblance. Then we can Station. Station, target myself, dump a Citadel. What do we hit? Wellspring? Maybe that's just wrong to just do a freemium Grind Station. Like at the cost of a mana source to like hope to spike. Like sure I could Buried Ruin that back and it is going to be a lot of draw, but maybe that's wrong because we kind of need to get this Trawler into play too. Right? So like next turn I kind of need the extra mana because like Trawler's going to cost us 1. Another Swift Spear. This draw is funny. Opponent's got kind of an interesting draw going on over there. So we'll take it. Tap the Citadel, play Trawler. I'm just thinking out loud. So Trawler gets sacrificed. This is going to get really complicated really quick. Let's see what I can do. So if so we get our first activation. Can crack Citadel. We get a Trawler activation. Oh, it whips though because we didn't have a 0. I should have waited on that actually. I should have waited on that because I think inevitably we have to crack the trawler to get back the wellspring. That's gonna untap station. Oh, did I say no? Whoops. Or no, I didn't. It was just the mill. It wasn't the untap trigger. So this is free. Draw a card. Untap. Mill myself. Crack the wellspring. We are hitting all of the lands, chat. I really hope that stops happening. Another grinding station. Oh. Wow. Okay. We hold this because it's an untap for the station. We've got the things in the yard. We drew some cards. I mean, we're gonna need to Buried Ruin the Wellspring back because it represents 2, or Trawler depending on what we draw next turn. But like, man, we just could not get something going there. We just couldn't get it going. So we probably have to bring in these claims because we're very dead to Eidolon. Regardless, I think these have to come in. I mean, are we just going to die? That would be so sad. It's very possible. It's very possible that we're just going to die. Right? If my next turn is play Buried Ruin, get back Wellspring, that gives us the most hope for going off? Or am I supposed to pick up the Trawler? I guess it depends on what I draw right here. So we drew Terrarian. I'm trying to think if we could return the Trawler here and justify that. Because like if I crack this other grinding station, we can get back stars. I think I have to get the Trawler, chat. Oh no, I can't. If I get Trawler, we don't have enough mana to cast it. So maybe I'm getting back the Wellspring. Well, maybe let's see what we draw first. Like I don't necessarily have to do anything yet. So we play Terrarian. We're gonna get a trigger. Mill ourselves. Crack the Terrarian. Another Buried Ruin. Okay. So we untap the grinding station. So what do I get back? We got nothing. I'm at 5, so I'm probably dead next turn. Well, Wellspring gives me the most draws. And it doesn't use up all our mana to go get it. Wellspring. Oh. Grind the Wellspring. Oh, milling ourselves. Crack this. Okay, so there's Opal finally. So we have all the possibilities now. We don't really need to keep milling ourselves anymore. We can start milling the opponent, actually, now that we... And Ballista's in the graveyard, too, so... Terrarian... Mill you, crack this. I think we're just dead. We kind of didn't get anything going, right? I don't have any more draw potential. I mean, I can mill them 3 times. 3 times 3. It's not going to deck them, obviously. So we are dead to any 1 mana burn spell. And like that worries me. Like if we're just gonna brick like this a lot, that worries me because we technically we kind of did what the deck is supposed to do, but we just hit a bunch of lands or other sacrifice engines. That really worries me if we kind of did the thing, but not quite. right? Like we kind of did the thing. What's the combo? I had to assemble a loop, so I needed we actually didn't see a single one. I needed to find I'll just draw it till I needed like a retriever. They're all stuck together. Of course they are. I needed like a retriever. I needed either trawler or retriever to do a loop. So against burn, I need some number of these. Ugin can come out. Karn's on the slow side. Ballista's just to kill Karn. Sword is just to help us not fizzle. I don't think I can justify it. Ravager's a little bit weaker too, just because they can answer it not just with sideboard cards, they can also answer it with. But like the deck really needs a sacrifice engine so badly that we play this. So it's probably cut Ugin some number of Karn to try to run. I mean, do we have to run the playset, or do we just want like 3? Like I have to answer the Eidolons, but I also want Karn, some number of Karn, don't we? So we can find like Anvil or Retriever. I think I'm just gonna run 3 claims because like we have to respect Eidolon, but I mean if he just has a bunch of Eidolons, we probably lose anyway. So I think the 4th claim is probably overkill. I mean it's got Anvil, it's got Stirrings. Let's keep it. It's not gonna answer an Eidolon, but so this hand has plenty of draw, right? It's got Sacrifice Engine, it's got Semblance. So this hand has everything we need, technically. Okay, so there is our speed, which we didn't have last game. Although, actually, I'm supposed to take Forest there, actually. Well, no, the Mox actually might be fine, because we have Terrarion. If we draw pretty much any land in our deck, we turn on that Opal. Ooh, they do nothing. So we can turn on the Opal. Honestly, I'd rather just play the Station, though, wouldn't I? So that we get the extra mill triggers when they go to... I don't know if that's right. Play Station here. No, I think I just play the 2 Terrarions to turn on the Opal, which means... turn on the Opal, which means I can play Anvil, and we'll just dump the weaker of the 2. I mean, obviously the opponent might have like an artifact removal spell. That would be awful. I mean, that's going to happen to us, though, with the whole Semblance nonsense, right? Yep, that's what I was worried about. So now we kind of have to go a different route, right? I almost have to play Ravager. Like, playing Semblance doesn't achieve anything. This is why I said we should bring in... I mean, maybe I was supposed to bring in all 4 just because we're really dead to Eidolon. Maybe I was supposed to play the 4th Nature's Claim. We didn't draw a sideboard card here, and none of these were cards I'm probably taking out. Like, if we're sitting here with a Karn, I could say, oh, well, this Karn could very well be the... I mean, I could try to... Actually, before I played the Ravager, I probably should have tried cracking these Terrarions, actually, because the Terrarion could have rendered a... Nature's Claim, but yeah, I could have maybe found Nature's Claim off of these, which I did, so I feel like an idiot. In fact, I probably don't shoot it there because if he had a second one, he might not deploy the second one. He might have done a different play. If he has second Eidolon here, maybe by not holding the claim. Goblin Guide. So it's nice that we get the information before I decide to block or not. It's just buried. Just take it. There's no guarantee that the sacrifice engine sticks around, though. So as much as I think I want to dump the Semblance to the Anvil, I think that's ambitious. We have a Buried Ruin to get back Terrarion. I mean, I could semblance the grind station. I think there's just a really good chance that I have no idea if he has an answer for the anvil or not. I'm just saying there's a reasonable chance we're losing the Ravager. Opponent's got 5 cards in their hand. Although we could move if Ravager's going to die, we can move the counters to the Nexus. We know we're most likely getting back Terrarian anyway. Why don't we just grab that? Set up shop a little bit next turn. For next turn. This is a fascinating deck. I just don't think I'm going to play it great after long days of work. Never really having played the deck before. I mean, I've played like decks like that are like this before. It's not like it's a terribly new combo. So we crack the Terrarian. Animate. Okay. And Nexus keeps those counters for us. But I figured that the Eidolon was not going to, or the Ravager was not going to live. So maybe I shouldn't have played it out in the first place if we think it's just going to die. I mean, like, this smash to Smithereens, though, could have smashed our Anvil. And it could have been even worse for us, right? We could have been 2 for 1. Am I just dead now? I guess I'm just dead now. I guess I just died now. That's Xaxes. Let's see what our next card was. Claim wouldn't have mattered. And that's the thing is it's like, sure, like the opponent did draw Eidolon. I did take extra damage on the Eidolon though, didn't I? I didn't draw to my out. I should have cracked both the Terrarians before resolving the Ravager. Our next draw wouldn't have allowed us to combo off though, but I still think I should have cycled both of these trying to find one of the claims first. But we'll play it out. I mean, we paid to play in the competitive sandbox, so I think if I won there, I'd probably end the night with this still in the queue. I'd like to get in the habit of like clearing what cards I've borrowed at the end of streams, so that the next time I sit down on my computer to stream, I can just jam, which is nice. I kind of like the idea of that, just being able to sit down with you guys and not have to worry about returning cards, even though it's relatively quick and painless. Why don't we just go ahead and finish this league and forget all about it? This is still a really cool deck, though. I don't think the Karns necessarily added anything to the deck, although we didn't see them very often this engine. The Ugin actually has me really fascinated. This was a suggestion from you, Jade Melfina. You were talking about Ugin the other day, and maybe Ugin is the better quote unquote replacement, because the 2 for 1 element on the Semblance Anvil has really been hurting. I just don't see the deck comboing off quickly enough without the anvils. I tried to put anvil in the Karn board. I was trying that angle, but maybe just like a bigger mana slot machine with Ugins would be better in some ways, right? I know that sounds strange, but this deck really does need a density of. Let me open a new copy. This deck really needs a high density of the cards. So maybe instead of playing, we're just theory crafting here. Oops. I didn't realize we got. Okay, I'll move it over here so I see it. So riddle me this. What if we played a bigger mana deck playing like Mind Stone? Mind Stone, of course, ramps us, but also is something to crack whilst we're comboing. So if we played Mind Stones, I actually think this might be more correct. And maybe play. We were like really hurting to find. I felt like we were either flooded or starved all the time with how the deck just feels. We'll leave it at like 19. Maybe it's a 20 land deck. We can cut the sword. The Ravagers are cool, but I just felt like they were dying all the time. I'd rather be more just dedicated combo. This is cool. This is a cool little angle that I think worked for the other person, but I'd almost rather go more dedicated combo style and just play Anvils and Ugins. I don't know how many Ugin, I don't know how many Anvil, but all right, here we go. Keep it. I mean, I'm also just relatively new to like looking at the deck, so my issue is it feels like it just needs so many different pieces, right? This needs 2 pieces to even come into play. Karn, like trying to help us piece together the combo is nice, but I think I should have led Nexus. But we'll see. We'll see if the Ravager build can get any wins. Our opponent's 0-2. They still could prize, though. Looks like they're playing Dredge. Dredge is pretty quick, too, depending on their draw. Oops. Turn off my yield. I think I'm just playing Wellspring. There's the Ugin. See this? I mean, like, the thing is, I don't think we're going to get to enough mana to actually mess around with using Ugin as kind of the, like an anvil. That's an interesting concept, though. Hang on. I'm having an interesting thought. That is really interesting. That is an interesting thought. Like in my mind, I'm almost like piecing together like a really bad Tron deck. Is that kind of where you went with it, Jade? Oh, we could put Karn in here. Turns off the Shriekhorn. It's most likely correct to Karn and try to grab Anvil, right? If not Anvil, I'm supposed to get Trawler. Well, no, I don't have a sacrifice engine. So what am I getting with Karn? Am I actually just getting Grinding Station just because I need something to crack the Wellspring? I might just go get Grinding Station with this Karn. Well, hold up. What else could I get? There's a lot of different things we can get with this Karn. So we turn off the Shriekhorn. Oh, he should have activated in response. What am I getting? I could also just go get Graveyard Hate. It's probably correct to just go get the Tormod's Crypt here. He is Dredge. As tempting as it is to just go get like a piece. Opponent is reading Karn. I'm with you, opponent. I would read Karn too if I didn't know. If I didn't know. We should tell them though that I can't prize, by the way, just playing for testing and fun. I'm 03. We see that he's 02 from my MTG bot, so we should do the nice person thing. Should do the right thing. Aether Grid shoots down Narcomoebas and, more importantly, Bloodghasts, but I don't think I do any sideboarding. I think I just run it back. Yeah, I'm seeing like Ugin cantripping artifacts, 4-drop relic, gain life storm. I'm with you. I'm with you, Jade. I mean, I'm thinking of like a really bad like Tron deck, because like that's a way you could cast Ugin a little bit sooner, and then so if you made Tron, hear me out. Hear me out. So we make Tron, we cast Ugin, we have 1 leftover mana. We use that leftover mana to cast Trawler. Right? You with me so far, chat? That would be such a bad deck. I love it. All right, we're gonna mulligan this hand. But yeah, like Tron. I mean, Tron mana could. Tron mana can do a lot of things. I actually think we're gonna bottom. But yeah, like Tron would give us 7, so we'd have 6. Spend 1 of it because this is cheapened by 2. Cast the Trawler. Now we have Trawler. Then we start doing all the things. But like the problem is the early stages of the game would be spent what? The early stages of that game would be spent trying to assemble Tron instead of setting up shop, which is what this version of the deck is doing. Like we're playing these 1-drops, we're playing these 2-drops, and then we're slamming this. At least the Karn version gives us redundant pieces. So I mean, I see the validity in either or. I see the benefit of either way we take the deck. So opponent has found a dredge 5. They have found a dredge 5. Again, like maybe still like something like a Mind Stone variant is better. Like that way we're ramping here and here in the curve. And then we add a few more lands so we're not hurting for land drops as badly. And then instead of doing anything with Karn, we do a more traditional sideboard. And since we're not playing Ravager, we cut this and we play Pyrite. Play Spellbomb. So that's what you kill with. Or you just mill them out in this version. And then you play Ugins. I actually think this might just be the way we want to go. And if we're not going to play Karn, we just go ahead and put a lot of these pieces that we slimmed on. That all goes into the main. The redundant pieces to the combo, they just come main. And then 1 more Ugin and 1 more land. I don't know what land it would be. Oh, you know what? That's not going to work. That's not going to work because I already cut lands. So like I don't know how many Ugins you'd squeeze into this thing. Let's curve it. Probably not more than 1 or 2, because like I think Semblance is still quote unquote better, but like the deck almost just wants more copies here. I felt like that tonight. Felt that way. Also, the deck that I saw that did well was also a Psy deck. It was playing Psy. So like if we cut the next Psy, we could let our mana get more colorful again. Opponent's whole deck is in their graveyard. There's a Grudge. Something to think about that there's Grudge. Grudge is a problem. But does that make sense? Like I'm thinking like let us like have a little bit more ramp built in the deck. Play a little bit more mana. And again, maybe we only play 2 Trawler, Maybe we don't bother with the Spell Bomb in the main deck just because the deck is going to mill them out game 1. That would be 20 lands. Also, like the new cycle lands are coming out, so Opponent isn't reading chat or doesn't understand English. I don't know which. Or doesn't care to talk to us. But regardless, I mean, I'll certainly... Alright, so down goes Ravager, that's fine. He soaked the Grudge, which is what I was kind of hoping would happen. Oh wow, he didn't dredge that turn. There's Karn. So use Semblance here, right? That's a tough one. I don't actually get anything going yet. Maybe I just play Ballista. Well, but Ballista is probably what we Semblance. Am I just playing Trawler then? If Trawler dies, it gets back Ravager at least. Yeah, I'll play Trawler. Like, no dredge from the opponent. Maybe they just have Ancient Grudge in hand. It's a possibility. But yeah, like maybe something like this might even be better. Like no Karn board, and then we add extra copies of Frenzy and Grid, and then maybe we splash blue for Psy. Psy was really solid. And maybe we try 20th land. In Modern Horizons? Oh man, I mean there's Time Twister to think about. Is that my favorite card though? I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite card. Yeah, so that gets blasted by this Ancient Grudge. I get back the Ravager. Blast Zone. I mean, if we find mana, we just play Karn and go get the we do the thing all over again, chat again. So Semblance, exile Ballista. Problem with that is Grudge. Opponent shot the last Ravager I played. Why don't we do this though? Future Sight Omniscience. There you go. That sounds like wonderful jank. We didn't hit our land drops here, so let's go ahead and try to do that. Well, Stirrings might give us that land drop. Or we could just get another piece to the Wombo. I'm going to take the land drop. Like playing Karn and getting the Tormod's Crypt is pretty good. Feels weird, but I think it's what I'm supposed to do. Just firing these grudges off. Maybe they're just going to Faithless Looting flashback here. That would be great if that's what they were doing. Ooh, no, they had a Cathartic and the Stinky. That's terrifying. Ooh. Yeah, we needed to have Karn happen last turn. I assume I'm dead. Yep. What one card could let us go off this next turn? It'd have to be a Sacrifice Outlet, right? Which was Ravager, but Ravager's down. I mean, we took the first game, so there's still potential to win the match. I don't really want to, though, just because we know the opponent could still prize, even though they're not talking to us. We could scoop. Stirrings could find the thing. So we need a Sacrifice Outlet. Okay, Grinding Station, but we don't have any draw. I don't have any draw. So I think I have to take Wellspring because, I mean, even if I have Grinding Station, if I don't have a way to return, or Trawler's interesting as well. Play Anvil, don't have. Yeah, we're taking Wellspring. So we play the Anvil. Just checking for Ancient Grudge, number 3. So we semblance the Ballista. I mean, I'm at 20. Like, maybe we shouldn't just give up. Right, chat? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. I mean, Karn represents going and getting something that cracks the wellspring and gives us another redraw. Like Karn represents, he could be Grinding Station. Our opponent only has 26 cards left in their deck. It might not be that hard to mill them out. Like, we don't need to do a perfect loop. We just need to do a little bit of looping. Yeah, now they're at 21. And Station is 3 cards at a time. So we get 2 draws, a Karn, and Grind Station. Like maybe we can just mill them out. At this juncture, like Karn going and getting Crypt isn't enough. Like the damage has already been done. The threats are already in play. They got some con flags coming. Oh, okay. Or they just have another grudge. It's okay. We were just playing for fun anyway. I mean, my goodness. All right, let's run it back. That was 3 Ancient Grudges, chat. I mean, granted, some of them were just flashbacked. They weren't. Grudge is so good for Dredge. It's such a great card for them to get to play. But yeah, like a more Ugin-based build might be where we're supposed to go. I mean, the card disadvantage on on Anvil is real. I still think you play it though, right? I mean, I don't think I'd replace the Anvils with Ugins. I don't think I'd make that change. But I think like a Mindstone build with 20 or more lands could probably pull off like a couple of these just to have like, because my problem with the deck is like without Krark was amazing for the combo because it was both Sacrifice Engine and Reducer all in one card. So this pales in comparison, even though it's less mana because you're actually it's card disadvantage, and it doesn't give us the Sacrifice Engine. So that's where we have to reach for like Grinding Station or, and that's the problem with this build is the Ravager build. The benefit of the Ravager build is you just had more Sacrifice Engines. Let's go back a couple versions. I mean, I see the benefit to the Ravager build, right? And you also have these Nexi you can just power up and bash with. But maybe it just wasn't a Karn deck. Probably keep this. I mean, why wouldn't we keep this, right? This is Citadel, Opal, couple of redraws. I mean, there are other cards that are interesting from Horizons, right? Like the new Kotal's interesting. Kotal, of course, requires quite a few snow permanents, though. Opal. Okay, so I can go Wellspring. Don't think I'd spend. Well, maybe I would. I was thinking no, I'm not going to spend the extra Opal, but like maybe I will. So we need a Sacrifice Engine, see? And that's the thing, like Wellspring, I mean, like the last time, I think we did try to jam some sort of like slot machine deck not too long ago, to be perfectly honest with you, chat. But maybe a non-Karn variant. But still play the Ravager plan. So give me the 4th Semblance. These two, this. We'll change out of Karn, maybe. I still like even like the 1st or 2nd Ugin. Maybe this? I mean, again, if we're playing any Ugin, I still like Mindstone. Still like the idea of stones. It's also more artifacts we can cycle. Albeit they're expensive to cycle. We cut one here, cut one here, cut here. No. Cut here. That's tough. I think it's close. Amalgam's coming. Something like this, maybe. Well, no, if we're gonna play two Ugins, like we probably want the play set of Mind Stone, then we have to cut something else. Nature's Claim, my Opal. I'm with the opponent. So we really need a sacrifice engine. We're just not finding it, chat. So like this is what the deck feels like when we don't have a sacrifice engine. So I feel like we really don't want to cut them. Like I don't want to cut reducers. I don't want to cut sacrifice engines. We don't really want to cut the cantrips either. So maybe something like closer to this. I mean, the problem is you're trying to build two. No matter how you spin it, it's a 2-card Krark Clan Ironworks or 3-card, right? Because Semblance, because of the imprint. So you're just trying really hard to rebuild a card that. I mean, it's hard to find a build where we can fulfill all the roles that Krark Clan did for the deck. Hey, what's up, Brian? Thanks for all those bits, man. 25 biddies? Brian, you spoil me. You want me to mess around with some Ojitais or something before I go to bed? We're trying to do this whole thing. We're thinking about an Ugin heavier build. Some stones. Conflag. Alright. Alright, sacrifice engine. Nope. Okay. Now I'm supposed to crack the star. That's what I'm supposed to do. If you want to, man. You like Ugin? Oh, yeah. Wow, 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 wow. We found it. We found it, chat. We found it. We found it. Found it. Retriever. We have so many retrievers. I didn't find the reducer though. Is the problem. This is stirrings. Station. Another sacrifice engine for us. Okay, hang on. So retriever. Retrieve the opal. Opal. Stirrings. Okay, so there's the reducer. Yep. A little too late though. I mean, this Ravager's beefy. He's not going anywhere. So at least we did that whilst we were comboing off. And we still have a lot of mana to play with next turn. Have I seen Fluffy's take on Ojitai? I did. He was womboing them out. It pained me. I actually left him a comment in his YouTube upload of the deck. I asked for him to put Miko Koro in the deck. Please to put Miko Koro in the deck. I mean, I'm still blocking here, I think. Interesting leyline. No, leyline makes sense, I suppose. So we do kind of use the graveyard. I mean, if I was to Ojitai, what would it look like? I mean, that's a cool way to cheat it out into play. I like it. I like his take on Ojitai. If I crack 2 artifacts, I still lose the Ravager. No, if I crack 2, I keep the Ravager. I just don't think that's worth it. Going down 2 mana sources. I think I'm okay with this play from our opponent. So we can Semblance, giving up 1 Retriever. Do I really want to do that? Well, we already have a 2nd Retriever though in the yard, but like maybe this is still more valuable than we can't give up the Grinding Station. I actually think I'd rather have Retrievers than just a random Terrarian, right? Because each of these Retrievers actually represents the Wellspring. Okay, hang on. So let's try to combo off here, chat. Let's do the Wombo. These are more precious whilst we're comboing Returning or Colored Mana, I think. I'm going to tap the Ink Moth. So Semblance the Terrarian, actually. Because we have Sacrifice Engine. Get an Imprint. The Terrarian. Au contraire. Alright. Opponent's got 37 cards. So we're going to try to mill them out. We already have most everything that I want to be able to return with the Retrievers already in my graveyard. I'm going to crack that because this is hopefully our last turn. Yes. Okay, so play Retriever. Let's move this over here so we get the trigger. We crack the Retriever, return Wellspring. Wellspring is really, really important to this deck, by the way. Can I always yes this? Yeah, always yes, always yield. All right, Wellspring. Oh, no, I'm not supposed to do that because then I lose the free. That's my bad. I think we're still okay, but I'm not supposed to yield to that trigger. So we have to do it just for the sake of Moto. I have to. We can always yield like things like this, but I need to actually go through the Grinding Station the slow way. All right. Yes. Crack. Retriever. Get back Wellspring. Wondering when I see this deck seems fun. I did not have a great league with it, but yes. All right, Wellspring. Crack the Wellspring. There's Sword. Okay, so we have Buried Ruin that I can activate. Okay, Chromatic Star, that's a freebie. Untap this. Crack this. Oh man, we hit a Narcomoeba before them. That's funny. We've already got them down to 19, sorry. Could try exploring Ojitai. I don't know. I'm just trying to go all the way, so I don't mind milling them. Yes. Oh, we cracked Star. I'm just trying to get all the information before I decide, wow, we're just going to keep hitting garbage. So if I play another land, I can activate the Buried Ruin. Okay, opponent thinks I'm... Oh, I was going to maybe scoop to them, though. I feel bad. They did not read the chat, did they? I said, good luck, have fun. I can't prize, just playing for testing. I said I'm 03. Oh, well. I think the world will do just fine with one less dredge player, right? Maybe the world's better off for us taking a dredge player out of the league. But no, I mean, I think a build of this, maybe trying Ugin could be fun. So Ojitai. I mean, my take on Ojitai has always been like a deck heavy on untap kind of stuff. I mean, you know my take on Ojitai in the past. Like, I called it another Ojitai for Brian. So, I mean, my take on Ojitai is usually, I mean, although I'll admit I didn't think about cheating him out, which is sweet, right? Neoform to do the Ojitai. I mean, my attitude is just there's a lot of cool synergy in Jeskai Ascendancy builds. The Ascendancy itself and any instant untaps and protects Ojitai. Cerulean is also a card that deck's already going to be. Let me move this over so I don't miss it. Wisps is something that the Ascendancy combo already plays, which is, well, it doesn't. Oh, yeah. So this would naturally untap the Ojitai without an Ascendancy. Mikokoro. I think we've talked about this, though, before. No, not Miko. I'm sorry, not Mikokoro. Untap legendary. It's a land. It's not. It's Minamo. That's what I'm thinking of. Not Miko, but Minamo. So yeah, Minamo. Oh, we have an opponent. Minamo is kind of what I'm thinking. So like Minamo, like an Ascendancy Ojitai, I think would be sweet. But Ojitai again would be a sideboard card. But like if they're gunning for Ascendancy or trying to take us off the combo other ways, you start casting these. And like I almost would want to play it the 4-color Ascendancy style, just because I mean maybe this should have been our sideboard plan, because like we had several games where we just had a ton of mana. Like maybe just like an Ojitai sideboard would have been really, really clutch. Because the deck naturally is very efficient at untapping creatures. It's supposed to be. Good luck and have fun. I'm tempted to keep this. I probably shouldn't. Because there's no guarantee we're going to find a 1-drop or another land that enables us to turn on the Opal to cast the Stirrings. As much as I want to keep this, I mean, I guess I could, and we hope to, like I said, spike those things before the opponent gets anything going. This hand should be explosive after that, but we're going to mulligan. Oh, this hand has, like, the combo rolled up, and 2 lands. This hand is better. It is better. Keep. No, we need 3rd land for semblance. Opponent is 0-0, so of course I don't want to take this league from them. I feel a little bad for our dredge opponent. Not that bad, but a little bit bad. Because I did tell them that I couldn't prize anymore. And I should have maybe been more specific. Like sometimes you need to be more specific with players and say, hey, I can't prize anymore. I plan to scoop. Can we play this out for testing? Indeed. Oh, okay, so we get to retry the burn match. Retry Ravager for us. Okay. I probably still just play Wellspring, trying to find 3rd land. No Eidolon. No Eidolon, opponent. No Eidolon. Draw us a land because you're the Goblin Guide. No Eidolon. Eidolon's so bad for us, we have to bring in a bunch of claims. Oh, nice. Okay, he's casting Swift Spear. We're good. Good to go, chat. We don't die. I will say the cool thing about the deck is, like, theoretically you can go off or start going off turn 3 when you play this guy. So that's kind of neat. That's like the only small advantage. Oh, well, we didn't find our land, though. Another Ravager. Or do we just play Wellspring, hope to hit land? I mean, I think we're still just playing Wellspring, hope to hit that land. We did not. Our 19 land deck, so greedy. Too greedy. Hey, 3 of a kind. I wish we weren't playing Magic. I wish we were playing like poker or something. All right, take 3. Draw me that land, Goblin. Draw me that land. Draw me that land. I'm still not dead here. Just close. Oh, Ancient Stirrings. Well. Well. So last time we didn't respect Eidolon all the way. I think we have to. Because those are just too slow to be playable anyway. The walkers in this matchup. So I think we literally just swap the walkers for the claims. So we can answer Eidolon. I mean, we did answer Eidolon in the game we played earlier. We just didn't do anything else. What was the problem? That was our issue. Was that we didn't do anything else. Actually, I'm going to cut this sword and I'm going to play Trawler. Oh. Not in time. Because if we take the Karn out, like I kind of like having extra copies of all these different things. Oh, there's Anvil, there's land drops. Keep it. No draw though, which worries me. I think it's a cool little concept. It's neat that somebody spiked a competitive league with it, but I also just think that it's not robust enough, or at least the draws that I experienced weren't robust enough. And I'm sad. And it makes me sad. We know we need this sacrifice outlet. Also, if he plays Eidolon, he's not removing Ravager. Maybe I should still put the Opal into play. Just due to said card. Alright, 3 8-drop Ugins, 2 6-drop Ugins, Forest. That seems like a bad hand, Jade. That's what that seems like to me. Seems like you really like Ugin. Seems also like it. Well, there's the Eidolon. I mean, we could kill Eidolon with Walking Ballista. I think that's literally what we're going to have to do. Star. Like, I think I just have to... Ballista here. Gets around Eidolon. I can move stuff to the Ballista. Ballista shoots the Eidolon. We already have 3rd land in hand. Hey, what's up, Fran? Is trying to do maybe too many things. It's trying to do all the things. We have like an Inkmoth Nexus kill. We got Ravager. We just got some probably trying to do too many things. Oops, I clicked on the wrong thing though. Oops, I meant to click Ravager to itself and then move the counters to the Ballista. I think I'm fine just scooping it. I mean, we're just screwing around and playing for fun. What would our draws have rendered? would have hit land, retriever. So semblance, exiling, star, retriever. If this lived, sacrifice, retriever. That's also the problem with sacrificing the Ravager, by the way. Retriever gets back star. Star draws us another card. It's oval. We kind of stop there. I think it's a cool little deck, but I also don't think it's all that great. But yeah, so like to finish what I was saying with Brian, like a pure Ascendancy could be cool with Ojutai, or maybe even like a Wish. The thing is with the Glittering Wish variant is just, I mean, just like the Karn decks. I'm not trying to say Karn isn't powerful. You know, when you play a deck that has a Wish board, you have to be very careful how many spots you spend on the Wishes. Yeah, like okay, so the Ravager deck. The Ravager deck was cool, or the Anvil deck. It was neat. We died to a lot of different fast decks, and then it was over. The league was over. That's okay. I mean, I don't feel so bad about it. We spent points instead of tickets, but because we had a really good. I actually had a really good league last stream. If you weren't there, with Spirits. It was like Esper Spirit splashing green for Noble Hierarch. Very greedy deck. Played like Lingering Souls with a black splash. But that deck did well. And 4-1 actually. I'll be putting the video out for that soon. But but yeah, just because I guess just because Brian's here, I wanted to kind of flesh out maybe like an Ascendancy list. I mean, we could probably just even take one of the Ascendancy lists we've played in the recent past. It's just this would be a cool shell, is all I'm saying, Brian, just because the deck already plays a lot of untapped stuff. Like Ascendancy untaps Ojutai, Wisps untaps Ojutai, Minamo untaps Ojutai. So like you'd play like an Ascendancy list with, I mean, again, if you're playing Minamos, maybe you don't want to be 4-color, you want to just play pure Jeskai, which is fine. You get a more robust sideboard. I mean, there are other cards that really enjoy the untap effect, or like or play nicely with Minamo. Like you could do like 2 Ojutai. Like Lyra is something we've talked about before. I mean, there's plenty of cards to consider that are powerful. The thing is, though, if we're not doing the green splash version, these don't matter. But it's interesting to think about, because that's something that this might actually be a smarter sideboard plan than I've had for the Glittering Wish variant. I'd like to see it in action. I'm really exhausted though today. I don't know if I can flesh this out for you that quickly. I can try. I can brew the deck. I don't know if I can play it tonight, Brian, because it's already almost 11 my time. But I can just show you kind of what I was thinking. Like Ascendancies, put one on the Wish board. So Ojutai, the nice thing about Ojutai is he is an extension of the Glittering Wish board, right? So unlike Lyra, like with the Ojutais, you would put one main, leave one sideboard. I have to remember all the different cards it would play. Caryatid. Like you'd play Caryatid, you'd play Birds. We had a version that was trying to go a bit faster, and it did really poorly. We also tried a stock list the other day, also did poorly. So I just don't know which version of Ascendancy really has any teeth these days. I mean, like Staticaster. I mean, there's plenty of cards to consider with Ascendancy that are actually really sweet with the untap effect. Like there's Jace, Prince Prodigy. Is it Staticaster? There's a lot of different cool cards when it comes to Ascendancy. Like Staticaster, you can machine gun boards. You know, so like there's cool potential for the card. Let's see. Fate Stitchers. I'm just trying to remember kind of what the list looked like. There was the Aggro Ascendancy in Standard. Could you port that to Modern? What are you talking about? The Helix one? is playing like Helix. I think I know which one you're talking about. It's just like I feel like when we moved the deck to be more bursty, then we faced a bunch of really controlling decks, and I wish I'd been on the more grindy version, like playing like straight up the hexproof land and everything. And then when we were playing a more grindy version, I went up against a lot of fast decks, and I wish I was just the fast version of this deck. So I think Magic Online Modern is definitely in an interesting flux where it really could be anything that you face at the moment. One-drop creatures, pump spells, Ascendancy just being a top-end combo. Yeah, that sounds like the Helix version. It was playing the blue spell that you could, and you bounce the. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Jade. The what was the name of that spell? Something Helix. It was blue. It gave like a creature. I mean, but that's standard. So like Retraction Helix. So that was standard. So it was much easier. That was Theros actually block standard. But yeah, like the thing about it was right. That's the tail end of. But the thing of it was, I'm with you. But the thing of it is like that format's going to be a lot less disruptive than Modern. So I think you do want like a hexproof based Ascendancy. Not that you don't play Birds of Paradise. Like the Birds of Paradise, of course, gives you the more bursty opens. So I kind of like this creature suite of. I do like the green splash for Ascendancy because it gives you really resilient creature to go off with, fast creatures to go off with, and you still play the Stitchers. What was that really cool technology we were playing? We had like Summoner's Pact and something else, but I don't think I want to play the Summoners anymore. I think I would just want to play the Eidolon. It's like an original Ravnica Eidolon. It was really, really cool for the deck. Verdant. So this was really neat. So as you went through the different, and then you also, if you're going to play Verdant, you play Metamorphose. I actually really, really liked this version of the deck. I mean, I totally get why the original deck builder was playing some number of the version of the deck that I saw that had Verdant. He was playing, I think, 1 or 2 Summoner's Pact. Because the cool thing about the first pact is it gives you a 0 mana Ascendancy trigger, essentially nets you mana, and then finds Verdant. And then as you go through all the different multicolored spells, or like you wish you get a trigger, this goes back to your hand from your graveyard, you go and get a multicolored spell that gives you another trigger for this. And you're dumping, all the while you're dumping this card to the Ascendancy triggers. It was really neat technology. Let me move this over. So this is a 0. Because then we start to kind of move into the realm of we have some zeros. Like you usually see like a 1 of or 2 of even Noxious. You'll see Engineered Explosives. Because like you're trying to have like a variety of ways to trigger the oh, these are here. Trigger the Ascendancy for 0 mana. I did like the explosives, even just 1. So yeah, we had like this as our zeros. I think the original version we played was actually 2 Summoners Pact. But I think I like the 1 of, to be honest. Because like the only target you have is Eidolon. So like if you already have Eidolon, all that this does is just nets you some amount of mana, which I mean sometimes that's your bottleneck. But what is that? I need to start fleshing out this wish board. It's like Wear Tear. Obviously, if we're going to play some legends and things to untap, we're going to play a smaller board. It's just going to be the essentials. So Wear Tear, Trophy. Do we want Trophy? Kind of just want like the bare essentials. Like, do we want Justice or do we want the one that kills everything that's a non-flyer? Sometimes that spell backfires, though. think I'd. Well, no, I like that Justice can also answer walkers though, because we have to answer these days. We have to answer what's her face. We have to kill Narset these days. Is Lyra worth running something multicolored though? I have no idea. We were just playing around Pro Peeves with the idea of things that untap. This all started because Brian was asking about Ojutai, and I said, well, if I was to brew with some Ojutais in my deck, I'd want ways to untap him efficiently. So Ascendancy does that, Wisps does that. We could play like a Manamo in the mana base. I hadn't added the Lyra at that point. But the cool thing about playing 2 or maybe even 3 Ojutais, you get to bring some copies in and then you leave one in the wish board. He just loves the card. He loves the card. So like we were just brewing an Ojutai heavy list for him. But I thought that Lyra might also be just a nice inclusion. She does untap with Manamo or the other stuff as well. I mean, maybe we don't want a 2 of her even still, because like Ojutai is going to do this. We're going to do the split, but she has to literally come in. I don't know. I mean, multicolored lifelinker. Multicolored lifelink, multicolored big scary thing. I mean, there's Sigarda. Not that she gains us life, but I mean, if we're thinking of like big, scary, legendary things, it's another reasonable wish target. Hey, what's up, Dry? No, we're just screwing around. I need to go to bed soon, though. What about Blood Baron of Viscopa? Oh, I love that card. How could I forget? Yeah, Blood Baron. Do enjoy that card. It's resilient to so many things. Yeah, Blood Baron. There's like a lot of things that just really can't kill it. Doesn't get hit by trophy. It does have lifelink. Oh, weird. Yeah, Blood Baron is sweet. Blood Baron is indeed sweet. That's cool technology. Play some Dramoka, Dragon Tribal. I would probably play, I mean, like, again, like we were just doing this for Brian's sake. We're probably still better off with, like, Sigarda and Blood Baron, but he just really likes this card, so, you know. Just fun to think about. I was just thinking about all the different things that like the untap of. Now, Blood Baron is not legendary for the Manamo technology. Dramoka would stop them from interacting with you. I mean, and the reason that I would probably, again, like the green variant, just has to do with it's nice that it can't be countered. He does get hit by path immediately after, but I mean, I don't think it's going to run recipes. I mean, like usually what you want to do in these ascendancy lists is try to rely on sideboard, wishboard for those kinds of answers. Like, I mean, you can run, there's a tutorable recipes kind of like effect. It's the problem is it's not fast enough for how graveyard decks work these days, but there's Sun and Moon. Wheel. Yeah, Wheel of Sun and Moon. So like there's cool things to be doing here, you know. We still haven't added like a lot of the staples though, because if we're playing Caryatid, I would want the split card that kills them. We want the draw two. Can't think of the name of either of those cards off the top of my head. Wishing a wheel does not indeed cut the mustard. Yeah, I mean, like, turning off, like, Rest in Peace cuts off essentially 6 cards for us. Right, turns off Stitcher. Well, I mean, you can hardcast Stitcher, but that's not what we want to be doing. So, like, pretty much turns off the Stitchers, makes the Revival just generate mana and not do anything else. Well, actually, you can't even cast this anymore. So, like, I don't know if Rest in Peace is really what we want to do as far as like sideboard. Like a lot of the time, we just want to be the combo deck, which again, like these are kind of counterintuitive. I just was presenting a possible shell to Brian because he's always interested in Ojutai. I mean, Ojutai has a lot of the has some of the effects that I would want. I mean, the problem with Ojutai is he just doesn't have the other stuff that we want on him. Like the fact that he's missing lifelink is very relevant. So Brian, I'm gonna do you a favor here, Brian. I'm gonna make you very happy. Here's where we're gonna use our Glittering Wish to assemble post board. That's right. This will make you very happy. It won't be good, but this will make you happy. So we'll have a tutorable steel to put on the Ojutai. And then how many Ojutais would we play? Would we play like the Sweet? Dargon Lord? Like just to make Brian happy, we would play the playset. And then we bring 3 in, leave 1 as a wishboard target, leave the steel as a wishboard target. And now we're talking. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. That's a lot of Ojutais. That's literally 3 Ojutai in the main, and then wish to find the 4th one. That's so much Ojutai. Is that enough Ojutai for you, Brian? Then we put it. Oh my goodness. I mean, I've done this jank with Geist St. Traff plenty. Which is probably what I would do instead of Ojutai, by the way. If like what we were trying to do is assemble, like piece this together with something through the Glittering Wish, it would probably be Geist of St. Traff, and then I'd try to piece together the steel. Which again is still really bad, but kind of cool to think about. But I mean, just if I was doing a Brian stipulation, like this is four Ojutai is where we have to start, right, Brian? I mean, you could get one out game 1. You could tutor for it, right? If they answer the Ascendancy, and I'm like, well, we're kind of out of gas. And we just have a bunch of lands and go get Ojutai. Would you even consider like the first Cavern? Is the next thought. The problem is like none of our creatures really have any sort of co-types, right? I mean, they're all different. They're all over the place. So it's probably really greedy. A lot of the time, I bet this is going to just cast Bird or Carrited. No, you don't have to play 4. No, we have to play 4. You're right. We probably shouldn't play 4. I mean, as I add stuff to the wish board, we'll probably cut down on some of the Ojutais. But if I'm going to play even as many as 2, I probably still want something like Steel, because that's my problem with Ojutai. It feels like he's missing something. Don't get me wrong. Card's powerful. Card's cool. I feel like a 7/6 Ojutai with lifelink is where we want to be. I mean, just like Geist is a really solid carrier for Steel, I think Dragonlord could be. I mean, Zur is a reasonable carrier of this too. What is the name of that draw 2 spell? It's like draw 2, put counter creature you control. See if that gets it. There it is. Scarscale. You had the spiciest Knight of Modern. I really wish we just had Stoneforge. Yeah. Tell us about it, Last God. I'm curious. What was so spicy? What was so spicy? What was so spicy? Yeah. But Karn stops all of your equipment nonsense. Karn stops all the things we want to be doing with Stoneforge, kinda. No. This is such a greedy pile. You really can't have cards that don't cast the Ascendancy in your mana base. Even Manamo's a stretch. Like it needs to either produce white, red, or blue. I think the last version we played though had a really greedy mana base, and it really hurt us in the long run. I think moving forward, I'd like to stay away from that, if possible. These steam vents. Pool, vents, fountain. Temple. You usually want the blue first before you start adding in the others. I also felt like it could have used a basic forest. Like I think it should have been basic forest, basic island. The problem with the basic forest is that it doesn't slot into Jeskai Ascendancy. We don't really want any lands, if possible, that don't slot into casting the Ascendancy, with red kind of being our splash. Island, so maybe we do Island Plains. Problem with the Plains is all it helps is Glitwish. And just in the early game, I mean, it doesn't really do anything else. Like our early game is going to be a bunch of cantrips and creatures. So maybe we can't justify the island. I mean, maybe we even just play 2 island. So I don't really want to play forest. I guess I'll play Temple Garden. Right, this is like a green source we're like okay with, just like we are with Breeding Pool. Like these green sources, they have to have the other color for Ascendancy like snuck into them. But Karn is the new Stoneforge, right? You could do like what Fluffy did. Were you watching when he did the blacksmith Karn? That was sweet. It wasn't very good, but it was sweet. I mean, with the Ojutai, I mean, I know we're going to cut some of them, but I think if Ojutai is what we really want to be doing, Brian, we'd probably play Opt instead of Sleight of Hand. Probably play Opt first. And then if we had extra room, then you start playing Sleight of Hands, like 1 or 2. I think we were playing Looting. I think we were playing not more than 1 or 2. I still don't know if I like Looting. Like, I kind of just like Eidolon. Yeah, kind of just like Eidolon, just making it so Ascendancy doesn't make us discard anymore. I get that Looting can like give you some, like gives you a natural discard for the Stitcher, which comes up, admittedly. I think that's another reason why we saw that he was on some number of Looting. Just don't like too much of that. Still need to finish flushing out that mana base. I mean, it would probably be a Misty Rainforest mana base for sure. Like you have Island, and then these can be got with Misty. So it's probably a Misty Rainforest mana base. And then beyond that, I could see Flooded Strand. The only thing it doesn't get is stomping. Trying to think if I would use a different fetch. I mean, Scalding Tarn would do something similar. Scalding Tarn would give you Stomping Ground, but it wouldn't give you Temple Garden. I mean, if we ran the numbers, I think Temple Garden is still better than Stomping Ground for us in our list, so it probably is still Flooded Strand. Hydroid, Crassus, and Blood Baron. I mean, if that's it, that's it. I appreciate you doing the research for me, Drive Beer. You'll take Sweet any day. So you're subbing in for Horizon Lands with Courtyards. Let me take a look at this, Last God. Saw Esper something. Esper Processor. Ooh. Ooh, so we're going to have the, yep. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. That's cool. Yeah, so Deputy. Well, I thought you were going to have more. Oh, okay, there they are. I was like, when you said Processor, I was assuming there's going to be Stranglers and stuff. There they are. They're over here. Yeah. So Scullers, Stranglers. I'm with you. I'm still with you. You didn't lose me. No. Yeah, like this is sweet, right? You process whatever you put under the queller. Do we have a different? Is there like another? I guess there isn't really another processor we play besides Strangler. I didn't really think about something like Nullifier. I just wish there was a way that we could kind of like speed up the deck or make things cheaper. I know, Heartless Summoning would be like not where to go, but like Heartless does slot into both of these. Just doesn't work as well with like Queller and stuff. Doesn't work at all with Sculler. I was just thinking like a way to like make the deck faster. That's all. This is cool though. Yeah, sideboard's pretty where you want to be. No Stonies. Do we not want Stony Sons? Are we playing either? Wow. I feel like Stony could be sweet. Maybe unnecessary. You got 3 rejections. Rando Leyline of Sanctity makes me not happy. I don't like this. Change that. Change it. This is greedy. What are we doing? Other than that, I love the list. Thank you for sharing that, Last God. Honestly, it hasn't felt like it needs speed. Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you, Last God. No, maybe it's more disruptive than I'm giving it credit for, right? You got Sprites, Anthalias, Wanderers. Seems sweet. It seems like there's a reasonable amount of disruption. I'm with you. It's a pet fun of in all of my white sideboards. Ooh, okay. Speaking of which, Leyline is nice for sideboard for Ascendancy just in general because nothing feels worse than you Glittering Wish for the perfect card and then they just Thoughtseize it. But not that everybody's on Thoughtseize at the moment, just something to think about. So this is 18 land. So maybe that's where we would start, at least 18 land. I think we ran 18 or 19 land. It worked okay. Not great. I do like the Madness draw spell. Any thoughts? I do like to play one. It's 59. Probably should just be another land, to be perfectly honest, chat. Probably. Should be another land. It's a lot of fetches. I feel like we're playing the quote-unquote correct fetches for our nonsense. Could even put one more fetch in there just to help with the color spread. Because that's always, you know, an issue when you're playing 4 colors. So we know we're not going to play a play set of them, but I don't know, 3 might be fun. It's a shame you need colors. You could play Nephalia Academy. I mean, I was just trying to make Brian happy. I thought this might be a good shell. I'm not necessarily saying I would ever play this or what have you. I mean, it's nice that Dragon Lord's technically an extension of the Ascendancy. I mean, would you be opposed to, Brian, we just test this little cute Ojutai package as wishboard targets? What's my favorite card from Horizons? I had Jade ask me that question too. I think I'm done for the night, so we might as well do something like spoilers. I'm fine with that. I mean, there's quite a few cards that are interesting, so I apologize for people that don't want spoils in front of their eyeballs. So that's me warning you, hey, turn off the stream if you don't want to be spoiled. I mean, Archmage's Charm is cool. I mean, there's lots of like cool cards in here. As far as like build arounds, I think that Bear Force Assault is cool. Could definitely be fun to brew around. Bear Force. You get to go into totally different colors. Because remember, we tried to do like a Seismic Assault that was a Gitrog Frog combo, but the problem was you were like red, 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 green, black deck. With Ayala's Influence, now we get to brew the Gitrog Frog combo without needing to. Granted, it wouldn't kill immediately if you're not playing Seismic Assault, but I think that's a small consolation prize to stay on color. Like we could play like green, black, frog, at Bear Force 1 engage. The new Meriden Besiege card. Oh yeah. The new enchantment was kind of neat. I mean, we could go by newest spoilers. We could do it this way. So yeah, the oh man, I haven't seen some of these yet. Hold on. So where did I leave off? Wow. Okay, so I left off at Slumber. So re-release of Urza's Rage Tornado. I'm with you. Soul Herder. Spirit. Every creature is exiled from the battlefield. Okay. Beginning of your end step, you may exile another creature that we control. Interesting, interesting. Oh wow, Wall of Blossoms is here now. Could do like a Wall of Omens, Wall of Blossoms, kind of like flicker thing. Huh. This will probably find a home. Like some of the core decks would probably want this because it's on color. Don't call bringing back eggs neat. Stop it. Stop it. What card are we talking about? For eggs. What? I mean, there's freaking, you know, this might be a mistake. We'll see. Actually, this entering, so Twister, Time Twister, entering Legacy is also interesting. Like my buddies were talking about Lion's Eye Diamond as a way to pitch and then cast this card, like Lion's Eye Diamond for blue. So it'll be interesting. Okay, Rot Widow Pack. Reach, exile a creature card from my graveyard. I make a spider, and then they lose life. Oh, okay. Shinobi. I like that they're pushing ninjas. All right, whenever Shinobi deals damage, create an illusion with flying. Interesting. More ninjas. All right. Yep, just the 6/3 ninjutsu. Cool art though. Throat Seeker. Vampire Ninja. Unblocked attacking ninjas get lifelink. Interesting. Alright, Phantom Ninja can't be blocked. Yep, that's what they do. Search a library for a mountain. Put it onto the battlefield tapped. Oh, but when it leaves the battlefield, we have to sacrifice a mountain? That seems awful. I was excited about this card for a moment, and then I finished reading it, and I got very sad. What about Narset? What? Oh, yeah, Dry Boromir. I've seen some Ascendancy lists playing as many as 2 Teferi. Yeah. Because it both tucks something and also the plus is relevant for you going off. Yeah. I have seen that technology. But yeah, as far as like cards I was thinking about, oh yeah, this is gonna go into humans, by the way. People were talking about this card. Unsettled Mariner. 2/2 slots into humans. Me or permanents that I control, they have to pay 1. So play this alongside Thalia. Seems good. One of my buddies was saying that Hogak might get tested as a fun of and dredge because they can pull off both the Convoke and the Delve, right? Because you tap like Bloodgas or Amalgams to pay for this part, and then the 5 comes from the graveyard. Interesting. I don't know. But they do tend to have like a lot of, this is gruesome art, by the way. Those are all bodies. But this is really gruesome art when you think about the fact that each it's made up of corpses, the whole thing. Isn't this the last day for spoilers? You just slam it. If they leave it, you win. Right. No, I'm with you. No, Teferi seems great. This is a cool card. I have no idea how I would abuse it, but this is a cool card. Probably like Tectonic plus, because like the thing is, so for Astral Slide, back when that was the thing, right? The Astral Slide deck. Sorry for everybody out there that just like blew your mind. Not in a good way. I'm just trying to look for a specific card. There it is. Drift. So, I mean, that was a really cool control deck, Astral Slide, but that was a different time for Magic too. So I don't know if like Drift, and like the thing is they would be playing that artifact that like reduced the cost of cycling. So that was like a really important part of what the deck did. So like a modern take on that deck. I mean, I thought Collected Conjuring was kind of a cool build around. I don't know what I would do with it, but I thought this was kind of fun to try to build around. Right, new Urza, plenty of ways to like go infinite with Urza. I mean, even just like straight up like Mongoose kind of a deck could be cool. There's a lot of cool things to think about. Goblin Engineer was an easy one for me to be thinking about. I was totally thinking about Engineer. I was thinking about Trash for Treasure. I was thinking about even just using him to go get like Bridges or whatever, Trinisphere, like using it as like a control deck or like Prison, or you could like treat it more like a combo deck or even like a Prison deck with a combo finish. But Engineer being a tutor, there's so few playable tutors, which Collected Conjuring did instance now. Unfortunately, just sorceries. This seems a little underwhelming, doesn't it? Like that it can't also hit instance. Yeah, I think Goblin Engineer I'll definitely be doing some cool stuff with. Trash for Treasure. I'm sure somebody mentioned Trash for Treasure here, but yeah, somebody mentioned it here. So I mean, I'm not the only person thinking about Trash for Treasure. But like turn, I don't know what your turn 1 would be, but turn 2, play that guy. Turn, this is what you guys really wanted to see. Here, I'll go ahead and screenshot this just so you guys have it. This is what everybody came to actually see, and I'm just a little tired to actually play it. I was hoping for Baleful. They gave you Baleful Last God, they just made it different colors and made it have a really costly requirement, right, for snow permanence, and then they slapped flash on it. All right, Glistener, Scale Up, Mitolocrosa, dead. Oh yes, Scale Up is kind of scary for some of these decks. I mean, Scale Up also works with I'm trying to think of other cards this works with. This card's interesting for the new 2-drop that they released recently, Dreadhorde Arcanist, but you need a different creature to put it on, right? So you scale up the Arcanist, and then you get to scale up something else, right? Scale Up actually does make the Arcanist big enough to bring back the Delve spell too. But yeah, Scale Up absolutely, like Infect, this or that. We played against Infect today. Maybe he's getting ready for this card, right? I mean, it's sorcery, but like the deck, like you probably have other protection spells you could pair with this. I mean, that deck to this day still plays Rancor, right? And Rancor, of course, is also sorcery speed, right? So it's that they also have to like protect creatures, like so you try to put Rancor on a creature, opponent has a removal spell, you need a protection spell to make sure that the Rancor, goes onto the creature. I was very disappointed by some of these forces. I mean, really the only forces that are going to see any sort of play is I'm sure they're hoping that Blue Force sees some play. I mean, maybe Flusterstorm's going to be more impactful in some ways, This plus something like Blossoming Defense. Yeah, exactly. Like you'd want to pair it with something else. I think Prismatic Vista is interesting too. I mean, there's a lot of cards to talk about. I don't want to sit here. I think the blue and the green force are the most impactful out of all the forces. I think the others are just laughable. I think they're just there because they wanted to finish the cycle. And like these are really what they wanted to get into the format. Thought Pyromancer was cool. Factor Fiction's sick. I mean, there's lots of the cool. Like my buddy's really excited for Goblins. Goblins getting Matron. Goblins, Dirty Kitty actually is a thing he's planning to do. Because they gave Goblins a sacrifice outlet to like kill when you make the infinite mana. You guys know what I mean when I say Dirty Kitty, right? Dirty Kitty being the green, like the Fecundity Goblins deck. I'm trying to find it now. I'm going to try to go a little slower. Plague Engineer is interesting too. Yeah, Pillage is sideboard tech. I mean, Pillage is solid. So Pillage, this sees Pauper play when it got printed for into Pauper. It's just it doesn't take up too much of your sideboard, right? There's plenty of decks in the format that are already looking for destroy target land. This would go into like Mardu Pyromancer sideboard because you get both land and artifact destruction into one card. Like they're already playing. I think we were playing a Mardu Pyromancer that was playing, what is that card? Red 1. Sorry, destroy land. If it's non-basic, they take 2. So it was already playing that card. This could easily replace that. I mean, this actually will see some amount of play. I mean, as far as like what's actually going to go into Modern, as far as like how Modern is now, is a very small list. You ready for it? It's a pretty small list. This is my prediction, by the way. Cards that people are going to try to make work in Modern, but does not have a home already. These two. This is going into Modern. This will be played in the mono red Phoenix list. Prohibit's interesting. This might be a fun replacement for like everybody trying to play Spell Snare, run like a mix of this and Spell Snare. Probably not going into the format. Yes. These just okay. This one has to like somebody has to make a Goblins deck actually work. But people will try this. I'm not sure if it's going to stick around, but they will try it. Firebolt, yes, yeah. There are decks that will play that easily. Like maybe even Mardu Pyromancer plays it, like a split of this and Bolt. People will try to make Codal work. My assumption is it's not going to, but they will. This is going to go into people's sideboards. This will go into people's sideboards. This is going to fix the mana base of a couple different decks, like the Restore Balance deck. So this technically is going into Modern, but I don't think it's going to matter. Dryad Militant is getting closer. Aggro Loam is going to emerge. Maybe Frozen North, maybe. Yep, this is going to see play. Nope, probably not. People are going to try Factor Fiction. I hope it does something. I'm not sure if it is going to actually do something. Nope. People will try to make this work. People will try to make this work. I'm not sure about either. Force of Despair is an interesting card. We may see people try that in sideboards. These will all see play easily. Absolutely. And like is that like the gimmick? Because it's, I mean, the set is called Modern Horizons. Is that just like they're like, all right, let's print something we know people are gonna want and play. So the Ease 5. Urza, people will try. I don't think he's gonna necessarily do anything in the format. Giver of Runes is gonna see a lot of play. People are gonna try to make this work. Nope, 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 nope. Although this is fun, like little build around, like try to either turn the life gain around or make it so they don't gain the life in the first place. It's a fun little card. I mean, I would play it with like Rain of Gore that says if they gain life, they lose the life instead. Do like a weird like Rain of Gore, like Wombo. Anyway, yeah, you could do something like really weird, like a 4-color, like a weird 4-color. Rain of Gore. There's like another card that does sort of what Rain of Gore does. But yeah, like play that, play Arya, play Fiery Justice, Groves. Like just go all in, do some weird nonsense. Absolutely, people are going to try to make. I'm going to try to make Goblin Engineer work too. So yes, people will try this. May not do anything, but people will try it. Fluffy's going to be on this card too pretty soon. He doesn't know it yet, but he is. I mean, the fact that this tutors Trinisphere and Snaring Bridge, this just seems like a natural card for his deck to want. Let's see, but he might say otherwise. I still think like a Trash for Treasure variant on this card is really where it needs to be. So none of these are going to see play probably. I mean, like Regrowth, it's just, you're still in Modern probably better off with Eternal Witness. With one more mana, we also get a 2/2. Scale up, people will try to make this work. I don't know if it's going to do anything. I'm going to say probably not. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, although these are fun. I've already tried building around Planebound. There are a couple Planeswalkers that you just need to put them into play for them to do what you want them to do. There are also walkers that keep other walkers around. I don't want to reveal necessarily. Oh, Rain of Gore doesn't work. Oh. What spell was I thinking of? Is there one that, is it because they have to control the life gain? Do we have to play that other really bad black enchantment? I really wish the new Helix was 3 mana to start with. Yeah, the black Helix. Yeah. Crypt Rats is interesting. Probably won't see play. But there's cool things to do with this. I was trying to think of, I don't really want to reveal the tech to you guys necessarily. Tainted Remedy? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Gosh, more modular. Why would they do this? So this is going to see play. This probably goes into the, we just played against it tonight. Come on, John. Come on. Hardened Scales. This probably goes into the Hardened Scales deck. People are at least going to try it there. This is neat, though. It tutors for Ballista. There's some other important constructs that it tutors for, but Ballista being maybe the big one. It's cool. This is a cool card indeed. Nope. 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 Although there's like things you can do with this, like Kitchen Finks combo. People will play this. This will see some play. People are going to try it at least. The Bastion, like the freeze on this is actually kind of neat. Nope. 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 Yes. This one's interesting. There are infinite combos that this will enable. I just don't know if they're going to be worth. So I'm going to say people will try Bear Force. No, probably not. Nope, nope, nope. Although this is really grindy. This is a cool card, by the way. Splicer skill, but probably not. Nope. Generous Gift, it will see play because it's just simply a recolored Beast Within, so this will see play. Various decks will want this. Maybe even Blue-White Control will want this. I remember Evan talking about this card. Black Force, Undead Augur. Yeah, Unearth is going to see play. That card is just so much value. That's a cool card. What about Dead of Winter? I haven't gotten there yet, Raccoon One. I'm giving you guys my assessment. I'm helping you guys. I'm helping out. Ayula, this is fun, but nope, nope, nope. People were joking around that like Dredge wants this. I mean, maybe. It is bizarre and modern, but I still don't think it's efficient enough at 3 mana. So nope. I'm gonna say nope. Nope, 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 nope. Nope. Yes. People will try Winds of Abandon. As like a flex spot, we're gonna see this being played at least as a fun of at first until people are like, oh wait, actually this is really cool. Early game, this is removal. Late game, it's like hard casting a Terminus, right? Except much worse. But I mean, there are takes on blue white that play Terminus, and there's plenty of board states where they're happy to just hard cast it. I think the same could be said potentially for Winds. Hex Drinker, people will probably try to make it do something. I'm going to say probably not. I don't know what sideboard wants Engineer is the thing, right? Naming humans and spirits is relevant at the moment, but like a lot of other tribes just don't exist. So I'm going to say nope. Nope. Ninjas, I mean, probably not. This is just fun for the set. People will try this card. I'm going to say nope. But if there was like a loam deck, maybe. No, I'm not talking dredge. I mean like a straight up like seismic, like bear loam kind of deck would maybe try this card. Sling Gang Lieutenant was a card my buddy was talking about with the whole Goblins Fecundity deck, but there's actually a better card that's been released and it's on color. So the problem with this is that it's black. That was kind of the issue with the Fecundity deck, is the only tutor that they had was in black. Hex Drinker's going to get played with Sword. What are we talking about? All right. Battle Screech, people will try to play this alongside Lingering Souls. I don't expect this to do anything. A lot of the Lingering Souls decks are on the down low anyway. Nope. People will try to brew around this, but probably a nope. Nope. Yep, this is going to go into sideboards. Yep, people are going to try this. This card's really flexible. I think it's neat. I don't want to say that it is going to be. I mean, like triple blue, just like Cryptic is really really tough. But like we have Cryptic decks in the format. This might be like a fun of at first that people test and they're like, oh wait, this is actually really cool. Like we like this so much more than Esper Charm is like what a lot of people will start saying probably. The fact that it lets you sit back on counter or you're drawing cards. Don't worry about the third mode. I don't look at the third mode when I think about this card in Modern. Like if I was playing this card, I'd be thinking about, well, I'm either sitting on draw or counter. And this allows you to do that. The triple blue is tough though, but interesting. Nope, 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 nope. People will mess around with this, but it's probably a nope. It just doesn't do enough. Same for Sinew and Steel. It's in my mind also a nope. I mean, we don't even see the other swords being played at the moment. This is a cool sideboard card. That's about it. It's a gain 6 against Burn, potentially more. Because they're a Swiftspear deck, like they want, like they'll Storm. Sorry, Burn wants to play multiple spells in a turn, especially if they're playing like the Mono Red Phoenix style of Burn. So like this will gain you potentially 9 life against like Swiftspear boards because they'll want to play out their whole hand, and then you're just like, all right. So this is sweet. Could gain 9 life and not even be that difficult. This is going to show up in sideboards if they want specifically something against these hyper aggressive or burn decks. Nope, nope. Although there's some fun stuff to do with this guy, but probably a nope. These are all nopes unless like various, like I mean like Bluetron might want something like this. I have no idea. They They already have a talisman that has their colors, though. So I doubt these are being played. You never know. Nope, nope. Yes. So Eldmar's Call, we'll see some play. The shells I'm thinking are going to be playing it. You're going to be like your Vanifar decks, your Cord decks. Those are one and the same. The various Druid combo decks, maybe even like Elves. This will probably see at least some testing. But those are the decks I think is going to play this. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, nope, nope. Yes. Guile is a really cool charm. This will show up in decks that can cast it. I think the most important part of this card is the fact that it's going to give you main deck graveyard exiling, but the other modes will be relevant a lot of the time, right? Sacrificing a creature, making a token, gaining life. Gaining life and making a token is always going to be relevant against all decks. Well, okay, let me say it this way. This card probably always has a mode. I'll say probably almost always has a mode. And you can argue, okay, well, BrewSpy, no matter what your opponent's playing, a 1/1 flyer is always relevant. Yes, but if you want to get the full Lingering Souls effect of this card, you're going to need to entwine it. So I think this card's actually really deceptively powerful just because of its flexibility. I think this will show up as like fun ups or more in the decks that can cast it, you know, your Esper Control, etc. Nope, 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 nope. Nope. No, no. Yeah, I mean, 8-rack is a thing. Maybe it plays Spirit, but probably not. Nope, nope. Although people will try to mess around with or Scale Guardian. This is the one that costs less for each land in your deck. I mean, it's possible people play this, but I'm saying probably no. I think Naga is cool, but also probably a no, 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 no. Yes. I think Unearth is really cool. Guile should be in Esper Control. I would assume that it's going to be at least a 2 of, right? Right, giving them graveyard, like exiling graveyards without needing to actually run Kaya in your main board is kind of cool. But yeah, Unearth we'll see play. Oh, here's the card I was thinking about earlier. So my buddy was excited about this card because between Matron and this, now Dirty Kitty. For those of you that don't know Dirty Kitty, it's the Goblin Storm Wombo combo off deck playing Fecundity. And you play Prospector to sacrifice the goblins, and you start casting, what is it, Mog War Marshal, as it literally becomes a ritual, by the way. So you're like ritualing, and you're drawing through the deck, and then you kill them with this, is what he was saying. So that might be a deck we try to abuse, because that was missing from modern. Matron, so an efficient tutor, well, relatively efficient tutor, and this guy. Unearth, we'll see play. The card, I don't know what we're going to be returning yet, but I can think of some value decks that would definitely be interested in this. 1 mana Tarmogoyf? I don't know. We'll see. So no, no, no. This card's interesting. Neither of these probably get played, but they're interesting to talk about. These could be fun to like brew. Probably nothing comes of them. Nope. Carrion Feeder. So it looks like they were trying to push a little bit of like a Aristocrats kind of feel. I mean, if somebody tries to build an Aristocrats deck, there you go, Carrion Feeder. These might see some fringe play, the cycle lands, although the cycle duels are probably better. It's interesting that these are finally entering modern. I don't think these would have broken the format a long time ago. Now it feels like the format's just too quick and degenerate to care about this. Cyborg card for people that don't want to buy Hercules Recall, right? This is scary to me, by the way. More artifact destruction for Dredge. Why not? You know, they also already had Ancient Grudge, but sure. This is terrifying. This is literal Time Twister, right? They're putting it in modern. Also, the cycle duels are fetchable. Yeah. What about Giralf's Messenger? What about Messenger? Messenger for what? Tribute Mage gets Thopter Sword though. I just don't see this doing enough. We just played a Thopter Sword deck last week, Macro Darkstar. I just don't see Thopter Sword doing enough. But this is scary. Scary. I don't know if this effect, even though it's on the flashback, should be in Modern. This also going into Legacy, like my buddy was saying, Lion's Eye Diamond is kind of scary in the context of this card. People might try to brew around this. I'm going to say nope. No. This is going to go into humans almost assuredly. That's scary that they're getting another tool. Deck already seemed pretty good to me. Nope. This actually might get played. So this is a Delve Burn spell. This could kind of take on the role of, what was that black Delve spell people played for a bit? Some decks actually still mess around with it. I'll think of it in a moment. But the Delve, I think it had the same exact mana cost. This being able to kill pretty much every creature in the format and Planeswalkers makes this a step up. Thank you guys. Yeah, Murderous Cut. So this is like a literal step up from Murderous Cut. And the fact that Murderous Cut was played in a small set of decks, that's neat. I think this is going to be like a fun-of that we see in Blue Moon decks, and maybe some other decks are going to play Sinkhole. Yeah, Murderous Cut is instant. I think Sinkhole's sweet. I think decks are going to mess, like the decks that are able to play this card and want this card will play this card. That's cool to me. Geomancers, no. Besieged is interesting. We were talking about this card earlier when I first started going through the spoilers, so sorry, we're just getting to it now. Oh, Ephemerate's kind of neat. Ephemerate is kind of neat. This makes me think of like those weird blink decks that are just kind of fun to mess around with, like a Chroma. But yeah, Besieged. I just don't know. I guess decks that want Psi might also play this because it's like additional Psi that's hard to remove. I don't know. Possibly. This is definitely a possibly because people are already playing Psi. Could see this being played. Sadly, no. I mean, just probably not. Maybe like people will try it as a fun of in Mardu Pyromancer. Just the fact that it's 4 on the front end is a lot. Nope. People will try to mess around with this card. Probably a nope, but people will try to mess around with it, I bet. Nope. Yeah, this might have a home, like we were talking about earlier, like the core decks. Nope. All right. So, out of all of the nopes, can we remember which ones I was like, yes, this is going to be played? Let's go through them. There are actually not that many. This is a yes. Yes, but we're not sure how many. We're not sure if it's a sideboard card, yada, yada. Yes. So that's 3 yeses so far. Yes, that's 4. Sideboard card, so I'll give this a yes. This is going into some people's mana bases, so that's 6. Skipping over this area. Edict probably sees play. You know what? I'll give this one. Well, no, the Liliana card already came out, so no, that's gonna get played before this. So what are we on? 6 cards? That's already a lot of cards going into the format. Did I really say 6? Yes. I'm skipping over the maybes. Yes. Sorry, that's not the green force. There it is. Yes. That's 4, 5, 6. Where's 7? 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, like, it's... I hate to add these to that number, but yes. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13... People are going to try this. I'll give it to them. 14, 15. Like, even some cards that I don't think should be entering the format are. 16, 17. I think people are going to try this. I think it's definitely happening. Like, Bear Force, come on. We're at 17, 18. 19. I think people are going to try this card, but I'm leaving it on. No, it's a 2-mana walker. People will try it. 20. I'm giving it just because it's a 2-mana walker. People are going to try it. 21, even though it's sideboard. No, we're staying away from just sideboard cards, right? I think I already added a couple sideboard cards, right? Like Green Force, we already did, so we'll keep it going. So 19, 20, people are going to try it. 21, even though it's just sideboard. 22, 23. I'm going to skip over Nether Spirit. I don't think it's important enough. 24, 25. People are going to make a goblin. Try to make a goblin stack. Did I skip over Matron? Or I think I caught. Did I count Matron? I think I counted Matron. Skelemental's going to see play. If I didn't count Matron, I meant to. This is just a rough estimate of cards I think are most likely entering the format in some way, shape, or form, even if it's just sideboard. I'm going to say nope to both of those. Sorry, guys. 24, even if it's a budget Hercules card slot. 25, as much as I hate to say it. 26, people will try to make this work. 27, absolutely. 28, 29. I thought there was another card. 29. That's it. So like, that's honestly, that's a lot of cards to enter a format all at once. It is. I mean, we were all like, a lot of us got disappointed when like some of the cards were spoiled. We're like, oh, that's not entering the format. Like, yeah, that's not entering the format. You know, like, that's not going to be played. That's not going to be played. And then like we started seeing some of like the juice, right? And we're like, oh, these are entering Modern? Okay, you know. So I don't know about Skelemental. I don't know. I don't know. Skelemental's going in the Mardu burn deck. Walker's pretty good though. How many extra land drops before the 2 mana pays for itself? I don't know, man. I don't know about that. This is fun talking spoils with you guys though. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys doing some spoils with me. But yes, like for me up there on the priority, like I really like the idea of Goblin Engineer. I like that he's not just a tutor, that he actually does something with what you tutor for potentially, right? So I can imagine a deck here. It's already happening. It's already happening. So like the Goblin Engineer deck for Modern. It's simple. You play 4 Goblin Engineers. This is going to be a very simple deck. You ready for this, guys? This should populate something we could use as a placeholder. Let's just pretend this is Goblin Engineer. All right, so you got your 2-drop Goblin Engineer. You've got Trash for Treasure. So Trash for Treasure we were referencing earlier. This is the return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. We do have to sacrifice an artifact to do this, but bear with me now. We're going to play like a lot of things you'd expect, right? Like as normal targets for the goblins, you're going to see everything from Bridge to Trinisphere, maybe Torpor Orb, you know, things that are reasonable in the format. A lot of these are going to just look like Karn targets, right? But you're also going to want stuff that's lower on the curve so that you can trash on curve. So you're going to see some 1-drops. You're going to see some 0s like Tormods. Gets bolted all day. It doesn't need to live. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing about the card. It doesn't need to live. It doesn't need to. So bear with me, Mark. We're just getting started, Macro. We're just getting started. Move this over so we'll have mana here, 0s and 1s. Anyway, it doesn't need to live. I think that's the important secret. Mimic Vault? I don't think so. I think you start going bigger at this point. Let's play Faithless, because that card's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't think you write the card out because you're like, oh, it dies to X. Card must be unplayable. I don't think that's how this works. So in Modern, what are the things that we want? If we could tinker, what would we tinker for? Leviathan. It's Leviathan, Sphinx. What's the other one? But yeah, this is the if I could tinker in Modern, what would I tinker for question. I don't think you'd play Blightsteel, would you? Maybe you would. I think I want Sphinx of the Steel Wind. Why don't you just build it as Blue Moon? I don't think I'd build it as Blue Moon. I'd probably build it more like it'd probably be like just a Blood Moon, like kind of like what Fluffy likes to play, like Prison or Stompy. Muse Superior. That's a cute one. I mean, I'd want like a couple different like Oops I Wins, whether that's like Mir Superion or Sphinx. We'd have to figure that out. I like that Sphinx of the Steel Wind has built-in Ancient Grudge protection. I don't know if I'd run more like, hey, I can't cast this, but it's big and scary than that. Like, maybe not more. I don't think you'd want Blightsteel. It just in Modern, like in other formats, it makes perfect sense. I think in Modern, this doesn't make as much sense. Oh yeah, it also gets shuffled in, so it doesn't work, obviously, with Engineer. But, so we want like a couple big stupids, right, for the trash. Is there anything else we need? Shroud, 7-Eleven, Trample, and Sphinx. You meant Platinum Empyrean? Platinum Angel? I think Sphinx will do just fine. But I'm with you. I mean, Platinum Empyrean might be what we want to do instead. And this is a sideboard card. I have no idea. I would definitely want Leviathan as one of the targets. So do we just want to play Empyrean then? Like in the main deck, make it Empyrean and Leviathan. I don't think you want it to be Angel. I don't think you want it to be Angel. Maybe. But yeah, something like this. And maybe we have Sphinx as a sideboard card when we're like, oh, they're just going to Ancient Grudge us to hell. But like, we don't quite need Leviathan in the matchup. Like, we need this to happen. But yeah, I mean, from there, I don't know exactly what the deck would look like. Would it be a Karn deck? Would it be a Prison deck? I don't know. What about Wormcoil? Right, I mean, you could start going down the curve a little bit and have things that, like, if you get to trash for treasure it, it's sweet. And we need to be able to set this up without the help of the engineers all the time, right? So now Orb does turn off the Goblin trigger, but we may still want this as a tutor target. I was just trying to think of some artifacts that are good targets. And these are pretty ubiquitous and easy. Right, if we're behind, we want to bridge. If we're ahead, we do the latter. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where you'd want to go from there. I don't know if you'd want to go deeper into artifacts and almost make it like maybe even a Moxen deck for more speed. Yeah, I like the idea of Wormcoil maybe. I mean, are there big silly artifacts that have some sort of, hey, if this is in your graveyard, does X? I don't think there is. I don't think that there is, but it can't hurt to look. Some sort of like, hey, if this is in your graveyard. I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. Isn't the other piece to this, doesn't it shuffle back into your deck? I mean, Gearhulk is kind of sweet too. It's either I kill you or I draw 3 cards. I don't think there's anything else. I don't think there's actually anything that wants to be in the yard, unfortunately. Just in Modern. Don't think so. Oh, interesting. This is opponent controls though. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I don't think that there is. And maybe that's for the best that there isn't. But yeah, Worm Coil is probably where we want to be. Maybe even something like Gearhulk, just to think about it. I don't know where I would go from there, but I do think that there's a lot of, because the card could do a lot of different things, whether it's you go big with something like this. Now, granted, we need another artifact to sacrifice to this. So, I mean, you would need some artifacts lower on the end. That's why my mind goes to something like Prison. I mean, quite frankly, you could take some of the popular Prison decks that are doing decently right now, cut out some of what I don't want to call it nonsense because it's not nonsense. That's not what I mean. But some of the stuff that I probably wouldn't be playing, put this package in instead, and then like a couple, even just a couple big scary things, right? Even just a couple, and maybe not play any of the value ones. All of a sudden, maybe deck. You know, I don't know. I mean, if you're only playing a couple of tutors, things to tutor for, you might not even need to build it as a looting deck. Like, as long as you're playing at least, I would recommend 2, like, big targets for the trash, you're probably good to go. Build your own bad tinker, right? So, like, if we did some research and we looked into, I mean, maybe that's a better starting point than trying to brew completely from scratch. And we could also just look at Blood Moon. Doesn't matter which one to me. Just looking for decks playing Blood Moon. Yeah, so you got your Mono Red Prison. We got some Mardu. But like again, like out of all these different shells, the one that makes me think of this card the most is probably modern Mono Red Prison is the one that comes to mind. So this was a 5th place list. It's decent. This, of course, being a Karn build. I mean, you can trash for Treasured Lattice. I mean, that's see, there's like there's that interesting deck building, thought, right? That definitely crosses my mind. It's like sometimes the awkward thing with Karn is you just can't get to 6. You want loot for trash anyway, though. Well, I don't know if you need to necessarily. This is the try to cheat out one of these guys deck build. I mean, while it seems like there isn't room for anything else, right? Because like this guy just decided his entire sideboard was going to be Karn. That's literally what the decision was here. One Slagstorm. Yeah, the entire sideboard is Karn board. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Should be some gemstones. There are. Simians, gemstones, and desperates. Just trying to do the things very quickly. We are. Oh, I like this. I mean, these are reasonable. I mean, like, I don't know if I could justify trying to add the goblins to maybe even these rabble builds, but something interesting to think about. I do like that it's no longer creature based. Like potentially, like if we are up against a deck that's removal based, it's no longer about racing. It's no longer about like should we have trash? The Goblin Engineer has already done what it needed to do. And then it's just a matter of, I mean, we might have to tweak this list because like there's not quite enough main deck artifacts to pull it off. I wonder if you would also just play Darksteel. Like if you were to try to turn it into a mono red prison build, I wonder if you would just play Darksteel. Just play Pyromancer's Ascension. Yeah, there's not a Pyromancer's Goggles deck to my knowledge. I think okay, so riddle me this, chat. Riddle me this. So now we've snuck more higher. I mean, I'm not saying like Mox Opal, but we've snuck artifact into the mana base, right? So like this could be a deck to pull this off. Like a lot of welder decks will play the artifact lands. Granted, that's legacy, so they get to play like the ones that produce color, but you could probably pull that off. Yeah. Like maybe give up. Well, Ramunep actually does tap for color. But, I mean, we'd give up something else in the mana base to pull this off. They're on 3 bridge. See, I can really get into the Karn. I like Chandra. Don't get me wrong. I think that Chandra is still something that, yeah. So with the goblins, I'd want at least one Trinisphere. That might really be the only change. That's a ton of Blood Moon. Is that right? Mirror Welder. Well, I'd probably like the first build of like a Goblin Engineer deck. I'd probably keep it low to the cuff. I'd probably just try to play the essential targets. Ideally, we have a different way to dump for trash, but there may just not be a good way to do that. Unless we can think of a walker or like another way to discard. These are, you know, just a placeholder for a 2-drop Goblin Engineer. I see. That's the thing is, I don't even know if I'd bother with a lot of looting, or any sort of like discard outlet. I don't know if I would. I mean, there's Chandra's, what is it? Or collective. There's the red collective. So you don't hate the modes on it either, by the way. This one. So we get to dome an opposing planeswalker. We get to toast a creature. Or we get to, I don't know about this actually. I thought it was different for the, it's not like it's brutality where the escalate is literally what we want, which is the discard. This is like a wheel. This would put you down a card overall, because you're drawing based off of what's remaining. Actually, I don't think that's a good way to go. I think we wouldn't bother. You want me to look at Mirror Welder? But like, what activated abilities do we want? And then all of a sudden we have like some really weird stuff going on. Now we're almost like combo. If you gave him the activability of Tormod's Crypt, he would kill himself to Crypt. We don't want that. So yeah, like Karn board would be, I like having a Crypt. I'm surprised that this list didn't have that, did it? No, it did. Good. I think we don't bother. I think we're happy with how Goblin functions, just in general. I think we don't have to get creative. A lot of the other card choices in this list we might just adopt. Like I might trim a little bit on the Rabbles, and I might trim a little bit on the Chandras, but other than that, we probably just keep it relatively the same. Maybe make room for Sphinx as something else to tutor for, or maybe we are just happy with Leviathan and Empyrean. I kind of like the idea of Sphinx, by the way, just in general, just because we know there's going to be a lot of artifact removal spells coming in. A lot of them really are red and green that we have to worry about. Not all of them. I mean, there's always like a disenchant kind of a thing, right? You know, but a lot of the cards that are going to remove Empyrean can't remove Sphinx, or obviously can't even touch Leviathan. So maybe that's moot. Maybe we don't want to waste the card slot. If we want this in, we swap it for Empyrean or nothing, right? He was playing Torpor Orb, okay. Like that's the thing about the Goblin Engineers. I think it slots right into decks like this. I wonder if I wonder why that's main. Is it just so strong that you was just main decking it because we had 4 Karns? I don't know if I like that. Kind of still like it in the board. Well, actually, because we have Goblin, we could justify actually, in my mind, playing one main deck as if we had Karn, but we didn't have Trash. We could have the Engineers go and get the coding. Actually, I can get behind that. I see. I don't like it necessarily here, but in the context of another target for Engineers, I kind of like it. Also lets me coding like a mountain and then sack that to the Engineers instead. So yeah, that's kind of neat. That lets me just sack different things. This deck is a lot of mana. Like a lot of the deck is just mana. Like it plays Desperates. It's going to play a Pyretic. But like at the end of the day, like a lot of the power level of the deck is just the I gotcha, right? Of like moons or bridges or chalices, right? But like now the deck gets like a weird bad tinker. That's scary. I love it. We probably have to give up the Singleton Blast Zone slot. We also will play fewer Gemstone. Like, okay, so this list was playing only 4 colorless sources. So like this is 5, 6 colorless sources. We're starting to kind of, you know what I mean? So maybe we don't play this many Dark Steels. Like how many artifacts do you really need for Engineers to function happily, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Guide and Karn make the same face. I don't know if I see it the way that you do. Classic. And then Ramunap. Ruins. I do like that technology. Like you're getting a tech land that's also direct damage to finish off an opponent. I do like it. Well, actually, this makes more sense in this build, right? Because it got the war boss and stuff. Honestly, I don't know if this actually makes as much sense in this one. We might be playing the cycle land in this. It's getting a reprint. Not the Horizon land, the legit like tapped or cycle. Because this is going to be a little bit more prison style. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. Sorry, I scroll through so quick. Something like cave, almost, I think. Like maybe we play cave. That had an older version of it. Classic cave. Yeah, old school cave. It's kind of cool that all of these different versions of these cards are about to be legal in modern. That's kind of neat that that's a thing. Yeah, maybe we play caves in a build like this. Maybe what we're doing is cave. I don't know if we should even bother with the gemstone. With the citadels, I think that's risky. They were on 19 land. They were on 20. Like these are our 4 colorless. I think that's pretty established. I mean, we could play a couple Ramunap runes even still. I don't know if that's worth it. I think a lot of the time it's just not worth it. Hey, what's up, Bandito? Oh, I'm making a good face there. Hang on, let me fix my camera. Why don't you just play Ichor Wellspring? That's an interesting idea. Whoa. That's an interesting idea. Play like I ran out of these old school mountains. I'll have to get a couple more if we're going to play this. So that's an interesting idea, right? Ichor Wellspring, and you loop them. Right, you goblin Wellspring for Wellspring, and then Wellspring for Wellspring, and Wellspring for Wellspring. Could get behind that. It's kind of cool. Kind of a neat little idea. But I mean, as you can see, there's not all that many extra spots, right? Slots. We'd have to try to squeeze in some more. Things that don't necessarily need to be play sets. Trash. The reason, if we're not going to play looting, or we're going to give, I mean, we could give ourselves something cute in the Karn board that lets us dump these, by the way. That's another solution. We probably either we don't play the playset of Moon, or we don't play the playset of Treasure. Because this needs something else to be happening for it to work, that could give us enough room to start trying to loop the Wellsprings. That's a cool idea, Rufus. I wouldn't mind necessarily playing a couple Wellspring. I could get behind that, honestly. So we Goblin puts Wellspring in the graveyard. Goblin goes and sacrifices Citadel or like an extra chalice or whatever, extra bridge, to go get that Wellspring into play, draws us a card. Next turn we Goblin this Wellspring, or no, we play another Goblin tutoring for the other Wellspring. Goblin number 1 cracks Wellspring, gets back Wellspring, draw a card. Actually, I don't know if it doesn't loop though, because we're not putting the wellspring back in the hand, are we? I mean, it's not like, well, no, yeah, you swap them. Yeah, you literally do swap them. Could we do? I mean, we could do that with as few as just the one. Sorry, guys. I just think it's nice for you guys to have engineer on the screen. So, yeah. I don't know if I'd play more than 2 or 3 wellspring, but that's really cool. It's kind of a neat idea. But yeah, I don't know if I would play more than, but anyway. So he used up his entire sideboard, like just for example, this build used up the entire sideboard for targets. I don't know if I would do the same. Things like Lattice, though, I mean, like there's certain cards that are just definitely worth the Karn board slot, right? Let's cut these. Bridge, right? Crypt, Chalice, Orb, Coding Lattice, Grafdigger's Cage. Oof. Fair enough. Oh, he had a Trinisphere in his Karn board? Okay. Lattice, Bridge, Trinisphere. Those are the last 3 you honestly really need. Yeah, like the rest are just like flex, right? Like Dragon's Claw is nice. I feel like we're so dead against Burn anyway. I don't know if I want to bother with it. If we wanted to do something cute, which is give us a discard outlet for these, we could do that. It'd be something like Trading Post. A couple of small value artifacts, something like Servo Schematic. Tapping is slow. Yeah, Servo Schematic's kind of neat, kind of like a Lingering Souls kind of a thing. I think I'm fine with the Wellspring idea. That's grindy. Like much like Pox or a lot of other decks, like we do try to go to top deck mode with our opponents and try to invalidate a lot of what they're doing and hope like the top deck that the game turns into is like if they're affected by Moon, it's like, okay, can I draw to my basics or a way to break out? If they're affected by Bridge, it's okay, can I draw an out that gets rid of the bridge? But if we're sitting there just drawing extra cards because of the engineer wellspring nonsense, that's awesome. And that's something that the deck isn't normally able to do. I mean, that's why it leans into Chandra, Karn, and whatnot, because it's trying to do that. It's trying to, while your opponent's just sitting there drawing, one at a time, trying to, get out of Moon or Chalice or whatever. Meanwhile, we're just drawing through the deck. I know, right, Jade? But we were talking about Goblin Engineer. We're talking about Goblin Engineer. We're talking about Goblin Engineer. Like this is like the perfect deck for both Fluffy and I to team up and build together. This is it. So we'll definitely have to consider doing that together. Welding jar. I mean, like some of these others, like you don't really need, and then that gives us more room for if we want more engineer targets. Like we could sneak the sneaky, greedy Sphinx in here after all. Would it be a waste of a slot? I'm not sure. I think a reason not to play a playset of trash is we already need an engineer for this to work. So I don't know if I'd play as many as 4. I don't think I play as few as 2 though, because like we want the payoff, right? We do want the ability to go boom, boom, hey, Like it could be. I'm thinking of a draw where it's like cave, cave next turn, citadel, engineers, go get big scary thing. They kill the engineers. Who cares? Next turn, land drop or Simeon or ritual or whatever trash. Go put thing in play. And again, I think that's a really cool way to use the engineers. I mean, sure, he can go get like a prison element, like a piece of the prison, but I think a lot of the time, just hey, I think that'll be cool. But yeah, maybe we'll play Sphinx, maybe we won't, and then I think a lot of the rest of the sideboard needs to be. So we kind of need to make up for the fact that his build is playing 2 main deck Anger of the Gods. The reason that they run the split has to do with humans. So like this does make us a little bit worse in the main board, right? Because, you know, and like humans, they'll just bounce this, right? I mean, like the real prize is bridge, right? So these being extra copies of bridge, just like Karn is really important. So like in a way, we're kind of helping that matchup. Dredge, of course, is scary. There's only so much I can do. I mean, if we find that we don't need literal 4 citadels, like, hang on, what's our artifact count for engineers? These don't count. Things I could crack for engineer. I mean, by adding the well springs, we get it up to 14. It's a little bit healthier. It's a little bit closer. It's not quite, honestly, it's not quite where it needs to be still. So there's some other tweaking we might need to do. We might actually cut a blood moon. Just to get another artifact in here. I mean, I might be fine with a main deck Tormod's Crypt or what have you. Oh no, it's a placeholder. It's a placeholder for this. Sorry, Dorks. It's a placeholder for Goblin Engineer. But yeah, I might be fine with like a main deck Tormods for the engineers to easily sacrifice or go and get. Are you disappointed? Yeah, I could be coaxed into cutting a moon. I mean, I still think this is spicy. Trash for Treasure Goblin. Boom. So maybe something like this might be a little bit better, and then that gives us kind of that main deck. At least the exile part of Anger, right? So maybe something like this. So we've kind of been in like a really weird, bad way, kind of semi-replaced certain parts of the deck. I mean, we probably still want the Chandras. I don't know how many Chandra I would squeeze into the sideboard. Oh, new Chandra's passive is kind of sweet, by the way. If we lose loyalty counters. So what's neat about her -7 is she literally does get to dome a planeswalker or the opponent for that much, but you also get the effect of the. She's actually a really cool planeswalker. But yeah, probably play some torches. He was playing 3. Don't think I'm gonna play that many. I think I'm gonna play at least 1 to 2 copies. And then that gives us room for a couple more cardboard cards. So Trinisphere, Lannis Coating, Orb, Chalice, Crypt, Bridge. What are some other suggestions? I mean, Dragon's Claw is highly suggested. I think the first Spyglass is also worth it. If we're only going to give ourselves 1 or 2 slots, I think those are the 2 I go with personally. But that'll just be personal preference. So something like this might be like the beginnings of what the deck should look like. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys, oh yeah, this is totally what the Trash for Treasure Goblin. Oh, these are actually over here. It's totally what the engineer's deck should look like. These are actually part of the mana base. I really screwed that up, guys. Hang on, these are tap lands. Just broke the zeros in with the ones. Yeah, I really messed that screenshot up. Sorry, guys. I kind of like to break up the Karn board as well. Like what's part of the Karn board, what's not. There we go. Say cheese. So something like this is maybe where I would start. But I'm going to go to bed, guys. I stayed up way later with you guys than I intended to. Should have seen that coming. Should have seen that coming from a mile away. Surely one of my teammates is live at this point. It's late enough. And if not, I'll find another stream to send you guys to. But thank you so much for coming to this Brew Spy the Magic Guy. We did not do very well with the Quark Clan attempt, like trying to be Quark Clan deck. We did not do all that well. But hey, Magic the Gathering was played tonight, right? We did the thing. All right, Vanifar Pod, that's cool. All right, I'm with you. That might be where I'm sending you to. Somebody's playing Pauper. Pauper's potentially really open now that a lot of those problematic blue cards got banned, right? Gush is gone. Gataxian Probe finally needed to be gone a long time ago. And Daze. I mean, all the remaining free blue spells. All right, that looks like that's it. Is that where I'm sending you guys? I don't see anything else really spicy. Burn is leaving the meta. Is it really? Okay, well then Dragon's Claw it is. Fair enough. Well, I guess like when a format's in flux, right, people really don't know what to do. Burn's always something to lean on. Yeah, I really need to be asleep like 2 hours ago. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just gonna host over to somebody. I think I might send you to Nola Gold. I know he's not always brewing, but he does brew enough to get my attention. Oh, I missed it. I missed it. I don't have his stream name memorized. I know kind of what it looks like though. Oh, Conley's doing some vintage cube. That's fun. Conley. I think I'm gonna host over to Nola Gold though. Say hi for me, guys. I'll see ya. I'll see you on the next Brew Spy. Yeah, he's playing Vanifar Pod. Can't go wrong with that. And hey, that's getting some new cards from the new set. So, all right, I'll see you guys on the next Brew Spy the Magic Guy. Good night, everybody. Thanks for coming. I'll see you. Good night, guys. Peace.